What is up, Pred Obsessors? Welcome back to the National Predecessor League. We are so happy to be here and so glad you could join us on this lovely Thursday night. Spooky Mars here next to voted #1 most handsome color caster in PCC, HD Philly B. How we doing?
I'm doing better now after that. Whoa, glaze off the rip here, my friend. It's good to be here as part of the NPL Week 2, and we have a fine matchup between two squads that have winning records, right? Unblemished so far this season.
And so far, both 1-0. Death awaits up against the crew, and really begs the question, right? Who does death await for? Is it themselves? Is there opposition? Only time will tell. You can take a look here at the rosters we've got in store for you tonight. Few big names in there, Philly. Some people that we've seen around the scene in some bigger competitions, all coming here together tonight.
Absolutely, yeah. Pop Hero was the one that stands out for me, especially on the side of Death Awaits, seeing them around the scene. But then on the side of the crew, Bangle Mac, right? Caster, observer, PCC person, right? He's all over the place. We played against him in the PML earlier this summer. We see Denim, the PCC photographer, as well on the crew. And then we also see Moo Muse was on there, but he's actually subbed out for Candy. And Candy is actually part of the Pay Your Taxes team who will be playing in the PCC Fall Series coming up in a couple weeks. So, you know, definitely a lot of big names on that roster.
And definitely a lot to look forward to. Some big potential is what I would call this. Now, being week 2, both these teams have found success in the first week. This is where things really start to beg the question, right? How strong is our synergy? How good are our strategies? Can they go up against these other winning teams? Because you're in week 1, no one really knows what the competition looks like just yet. After that is when things really start to shake out. You get a bigger feel for what you're going up against. And Philly, well, we can speculate all we want here, but we've got a draft we can get to, right?
Oh, and that's almost one of my favorite parts of the whole predecessor scene is talking about the draft. And Spooky, you make a really good point here because we've played in leagues such as this, and sometimes the beginning parts of the season, you have to figure out who goes where. You're like, yeah, maybe I signed up to play support, but maybe you find yourself better in the jungle, or maybe you're mid laner, but you're playing offlane characters, or whatever it is. And so especially for some of these teams, Death Await especially, they've kind of been mixing and matching who goes where from time to time. So you might be seeing them flex into different positions as the game goes on, or as the series progresses. So that is something to be looking out for both of these teams. Just because it says mid there on the screen doesn't mean you might see Bangle Mac in the jungle. He's got a nasty Richter that he can pull out from time to time. So, you know, it depends, and that's what I love about these leagues. A lot of flexibility on these squads.
Yeah, you talked about flexibility and specifically Death Awaits. Now look over here at the notes that we've taken on these teams, and there's just a big question mark in Pop Hero around the characters he plays because it's so diverse and untraditional. Whereas you look at someone like Bengal Mac, he loves that Howie, right? He's playing very traditional mages in there. You know he's going to be playing a gadget. We saw him on that last week. Howie saw some big success. It's the non-traditional, non-conforming strategy versus tried and true. We know what we're doing. This is how the game is. Comfort picks, right? Okay, maybe I'm picking Greystone, I'm going mid, but if I'm the best Greystone out there, it doesn't even matter. I'll take it. So it will see a little bit of that, I think, but what we will see in Spooky is the Bang Mao, the Countess, the Grux, the Ure. They are taking off the taste of the stars. Bang Mao is a lot of power in the past, but still a great snowballer, effective in the jungle. The Countess is really does get through a lot of people have been playing in the jungle recently, so got going with the Vampire S there. On the other side, Rock. And then Ure. Yeah, no, seriously. And then the same thing with Ure. It's the Countess, right? Very similar, can be jungle, offlane, slippery, hard to lock down, a lot of burst.
So makes sense that these guys are.
What I've seen in advance is a lot of prioritization towards some pressure things, right? In the off lane, Countess and Run can also be other two as well. Always find a way into your back line, find those flanks. I read as lane band. What do you think we're looking to prioritize? Oh!
Okay, well this is exactly what we're gonna get. There they are. We're getting the Decker side of death away first pick for them. I like that undead world plays the Decker pretty effectively. Usually goes for Celia first, aggressive as the captain of the squad and can help facilitate his team. And then on the other side, we're seeing the Rena being picked up first here. Can go in the support role. We've seen Spotted Loss run that, but then it can also go mid lane. Haven't really seen Bangle Mac play the Rena, so not too sure he'll be working that out here tonight. On the flip side though, the carries are also in this first phase of the draft. Skylar
I don't really have to worry too much about what you're doing to her. That can about the cage, Quam, over the crew. I wonder what tools they have to bring this guy down from this guy, right? Obviously, Rena can hit that. Bring him down, knock him out of the sky. The steal here, Rena can that. At the same time, we've seen crazier things when Steel goes into maybe the off lane. We've seen some Steel mids. I'm not gonna keep my hopes up for that one, but we've seen it.
Yeah, I mean, Pop Hero, from my notes and from what I've seen, has played Steel mid along with the Greystone. So, fortunately, Pop Hero is on death and weight. So, I don't think we'll be seeing that big old Steve. I mean, but he could go in the off lane, could go in the Steve. You haven't heard that? Steve.
No way we're giving Steel a friendly name. Steve.
We sure are. He's a big friendly robot just hunkering down and punching people with his iron. Respectfully, though, everything is not. Doesn't feel. But either way, pick my friend. We can go in the off lane, go into the jungle, and there it is. We're seeing the Howitzer mid, so that to me is locking Rena in the support role. Dare I say off lane? I mean, I've seen it. It's not super effective, so please, folks, do not put Rena in the off lane. But you know, you can go there. The draft picks up more to round out play.
Decker picked up. Probably gonna see a Decker. We have for Quam, I like heavy into the magic damage, so Steel, I mean, he's got his passive, so he builds his armor to get the magical armor on the flip side of it, so he's okay fighting into either of those in the off lane. Steel, he's not a natural winner in the off lane. He's just going to hold it down and make sure you don't get backdoored. He's then eventually going to get unlocked, and that should be the objective of the team, to unlock him, so that he can put in the big shield plan, help you win an objective fight, and then you roll on to, you know, towers after that. But then, what if he goes, oh, he's not going in the jungle, sorry folks, because it will be the Kalari for sure in the jungle. But we don't know for sure.
You're right, could go off lane, I mean, this is the NPL after all, folks. Wherever they're comfortable with, that is where they're going to go. Yo, Simba played it a few times in some scrims before the LAN. It didn't look great. No smack on Simba. It was just like, I don't think it does affect it. So, maybe you guys go off lane, my friend. Tough matchup in the Quam and the Aurora, both very durable, right? They're building Magnify, which can shred you. You want to get those mission stacks as well, so I don't know, just not safe to go in the off lane.
I actually got you to analyze the potential. Like, we agree it's the steal.
Okay, fair enough.
Stranger danger,
I
sir.
would love to be wrong. I would love to see Kalari off lane.
I wouldn't love you to be wrong here. I would hate that, actually.
Oh, that's Steel.
To see what madness. But, my friend, we didn't even talk about
They're using everything.
We're seeing the Zaris and the Boris. What do you think of that?
I mean, I think it kind of tells the same.
They're just running
story
Sareth
as
down.
these other
Nice.
four bands.
Nice kill on TB.
Don't like the junglers.
When you dare to combine sweet and tart, you get a sweet tarts rope that's so sweet, you'll pucker. Sweet tarts, dare to combine.
Open your eyes bigger. New Panorama by L'Oreal Paris. A multi-level bristle brush to catch every single lash. Corner to corner, bigger, wider. See life in Panorama, because you're worth it.
When cookies and cream found Hershey's, this triggered something crunchy, creamy, and really tasty. You're gonna fall hard for it. Hershey's Cookies and Cream.
Can we stop for food?
No, hay comida en la casa.
When you play hard, you need your eyes to keep up. Try Blink. The only eye drop of its kind with a unique 3-in-1 extended relief formula to get your eyes back in the game.
Blink.
Want them in our back. I dropped the Coliseum and then I get so I feel like they could have left that one up and maybe fixed it themselves, but
kind of poking and prodding, using that Coliseum. My friend, it's also about the jungle in this 8 the new neutral objectives. You have to have some folks with some good clear that can make their way around the map and people that can take those 1v1s if they find their jungler invading, etc. This is where it's going to be interesting with the Kallari in the jungle. Is like she does want to kind of pick you out when you're weak, right? When you're least expecting it. You're like, oh, I think if I can just squeeze in this 2 camp before I go back, I'll be fine. That's exactly when she strikes. Against the Kwang, against the Aurora, with whichever one, that's going to be difficult to do because, like we said, they're both durable. They both have good escape options as well. So it might be tough for her to take those 1v1s, but I'll be looking for her. That's going to be their pivotal point here for the crew.
it really sounds like Kallari is my natural born. There's one thing I am in the jungle, it's extremely greedy for my king. But you touched on a very good point here, Philly. How effectively does this Kallari get into the fight? Because you're looking for Skylar. And that's the main damage dealing source from Death Away. They all bring a fair amount of pain on their own. But like, you're not trying to target out the Zinx. Well, maybe you are, just get the Neural Genesis offline. But you're not looking to take out the Decker early. It's really all about this Skylar who can just take the sky.
And then you've got double the peel, right? You've got the Decker can peel for you because she'll probably be in the back line, almost playing sort of like a Gadget, right? Gadget wants to be in the back line, kind of extend the poke, right? She'll put in the Photon Disruptors and the Ion Strikes and the Stasis Bombs, whatever. And the Zinx is there too, so if the Kallari does appear, it's boom, Ricochet right on top, then Stasis Bomb layered on that, the Hypercharge, and then you're bursted down. Something that the crew likes to do is play these very bursty comps. They want to pick out one target and just obliterate you. And so that is where the Howitzer comes in, because with the Make It Rain, the R2000s, they can really get that done. And if Bangle Mac, who we're assuming is playing that, can combine with the Kallari to get some of these early picks, maybe around like an early seedling, something like that, get this Kallari snowballing, then it could be different. Then she'll have an item up on people and then can go at any target that she wants. So it's going to be very interesting how this early game plays out. But if Kallari doesn't get off to a good start, my friend, it's going to be very difficult to get in that back line.
It feels like one of those games where timing is going to be everything. You have to make sure that when you're Kallari, if you're looking to engage, those big cooldowns can peel you off. Those have got to be offline. So you have to be very patient when you look for your engagements. And speaking of being patient, we're going to ask you to be patient for just a quick moment longer. Please toss this to a quick break. We'll be right back. All right, welcome back to none other than the game itself. The crew take on Death Awaits. Still Spooky and Philly to take you through everything here. Philly, we had our opportunity to look over the drafts, the bans. Now we get to see the gameplay itself. I know you said you're a big fan of the draft, but me, I love this part.
Yeah, the game is definitely where it's at. That's why we come to the NPL and every other league across the predecessor scene. Something I do want to highlight here is Candy is actually a support player. And that's their role for the Pay Your Taxes team for the PCC. So they've swapped over here to the solo lane for the crew, but they're playing a support, right? You know how to play the steal, so they're going to be comfortable on that side going up against the Aurora. So you and I, we were kind of pondering who was it going to be, Kwang, Aurora. We're finding it out now. I like the Kwang in the jungle, very durable, can stand up against that early seedling damage, which I think is very important. If you can secure both seedlings to start, you get level 6. That's an easy Fangtooth, because you have your ultimate before the other jungler does. If they try to enter the pit, it's going to be a no-go for them. So, very interesting. We'll see how this duo lane actually pans out, because it's the Decker as support. Zinx is going mid.
That's not really what I had anticipated, given what we've seen players do in the past. How valuable... We'll talk about a few things here, but since we are talking about mid lane, I want to focus on that right now. How valuable is that Zinx in this mid lane? Obviously, she can do some poking, but when you talk about the sustain she typically brings to lanes, how effective is that when you're just by yourself? How effective is that in Neurogenesis for you ganks? What's the strat here?
Okay. My old buddy, Dr. Shadow, used to try to run Zinx and Muriel mid lane. Was sometimes effective, was sometimes not. Yeah. The thing is that when you go to late game, it's very difficult, because what big ultimate are you providing? It's no, Tesla Dome. It's no, Make It Rain. It's nothing that's going to be super impactful. Then you're also playing from the back line here, really looking for those ricochets. So I think for me, this is part of that 1.8 patch where a lot of the game actually is controlled through the mid lane. If you can pressure out your opposing mid laner, make them back early, you free up a seedling, get your jungler facilitated, then you can kind of snowball from there. So for me, what this composition is saying, at least Zinx in the mid, is to really poke out Banglemac, force him away, and then allow the Kwang to do the work.
That's the important thing, in my opinion, there. And it's the jungler, right? I want to take our eyes over to the right side. We've got Candy on this steal up against this Aurora. It's not a winning lane. You touched on it yourself. You said this is naturally a pick that's not going to win the lane. And what that does is it does mean this wave can push up quite a bit more towards Candy, and that opens up some potential invades. If you're getting too many invades off, your Kalari starts to fall behind. So how important is it to make sure we have presence on this right side of the map? You can already see Bomb making that rotation over. Marky is in the area.
Yeah, and this could be disastrous if the Candy does not spot it out. The tether does connect them, my friend. He goes dashing in, but the bulldoze will do him well, get him to safety. But that's exactly what you're talking about, knowing that the pressure is on. Normally, your jungler wouldn't go for that gank because you are close to your tower. You would expect the Kalari to go in, but against an Aurora, kind of difficult to gank. She's got the escape tools. She's got some lockdown as well. So this Kalari gonna have to find the right target. That's why she's hovering over that duo lane, but they're pushed all the way up.
He's able to knock himself into that tower. And frankly, I'm surprised Marky went for that right side gank in the first place. I actually expected him to kind of go into the jungle, get some vision down, maybe see if there were any camps up. Probably smart enough to know the timers, recognize there wasn't really anything to evade just yet. But just the fact that he was over there as those camps were starting to come up, I think it's a big signal of potential things to come. The aggression he's showing in the right lane, transition straight over to the mid lane, because this is a team that wants to be proactive in their approach. They want to get that front foot forward and get off to a good start.
And I wouldn't mind a vertical jungle strategy from the Kwang. I think maybe he should have stayed around there and then gone for that seedling on that side. But no, goes for the horizontal jungle strat. It's a little bit safer because you don't know where the Kalari is. And Kwang, before he gets like level 6, gets maybe an item online, he's still pretty squishy, right? He doesn't have a lot of that defensibility just yet. So if Denim does find him, they could take an unfavorable trade, and then that could open up a neutral objective. So I like a little bit of the safety side. I'm a risk-adverse person myself, so okay, don't want to go for any invades. But I'm looking at the seedlings. Those objectives are on the board. I'm not seeing any junglers rotate to them just yet. Some skirmishing over here in the duo lane, however.
On the duo side, skirmishing around the seedling. Denim does
there it is.
That first one goes nicely into his pocket. Now the question is, does Mark respond on the other side? Instead of a little exchange here, Denim not super healthy. Brian and Bengal make that rotation forward though.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to get anything done here because there's no stuns on the other side. So, Bengal, as much as the Howitser's got some burst, where's the lockdown, right? If you don't get the boot back in, especially if you're chasing, very difficult to do. So a good steal on the large creep there from the side of Marky. Doesn't get the seedling off on that side, but he does get a little bit of that economic advantage by stealing that 2 guy. So love that, but he's going back now. The other steal into the seedling is still up for grabs here. The duo lane getting at it once again.
Spotted has to burn that blink to get out of the cage. Well, that might look bad. Bengal is on the rotation over. So far, not looking great. Spotted goes up in the sky, but Amento goes in as well. 3 people in the sky at once. They all must come back down to earth. No one trips and goes into a grave. So they'll just go their separate ways. I say that, but Dennis is also in the back. For a little exchange. He's extremely low. Does he have a way back out? Burns everything. Up Hero doesn't have the space to get to him. Denim somehow should survive.
Oh my goodness, by the skin of his teeth. What a cheeky invade from him. He knows he's got to get off to a good start, so he's doing something desperate. He gets away with it. Oh man, you lucky dog. I was so hyped for Bengal to make that rotation. He told us in the chat beforehand, he said, let me get this first blood, but he just got the first blood goes against him. Bengal, no.
Man, that's what happens when you talk, right? It says, I'm gonna get that first blood. Oh, well, actually, I've been first blooded myself. Plenty of game to make up for it. But that's not the start that the crew wants here. Any piece of this starts to fall behind, and you can really find yourself in a detrimental position. As we said, the mid lane is critical for controlling this map, which means if there's any 2 roles you don't want to fall behind right now, it's the jungle on this Kalari, but also that Howie in the mid lane.
And that was what we talked about right at the beginning, right? That's what this Zinx is going to provide, is that setup for the Kwang to facilitate, is able to get that mini prime. I thought they were going to roll that into the seedling because it is on the same side, but they're going back. They're going to try to reset and contest this Fang, but I don't think they're going to make it in time, my friend. The other team is already on it.
Yeah, there's no way this gets contested. Look at that health bar. Dropping. Horde will show up, find a horde of enemies lying in front of him. He's going to take that step back, as any smart man should. The question is, though, how smart can you be when you're undead?
Not much. You're just gonna be waddling towards people, trying to eat some brains out there. Maybe a zombie character is in the future for us next, Spooky.
I wouldn't be opposed. Does Boris count as a zombie?
He's a cyborg. Well, I guess he's reanimated. Nah, because he's like a cyborg. I wouldn't count it. I wouldn't count it.
Different enough. Not gonna count this buff for Denim either. That one gets stolen away by Marky Duda. Gonna run to defend his way back out. Meantime, there's a lot of pressure on this map from Death Awaits. Pretty much every single lane is pushed in their favor, and Marky Duda has just kind of had free reign of this map. He's been looking right, he's been looking left, he's been looking mid lane. And while he's only found the one kill, the fact that he has so much freedom, I think, speaks volumes to how comfortable Death Awaits feels right now.
Absolutely, and I would love to see maybe the items that he has or what his creep score is, because that would tell us the difference. Oh, the soul fire is big, the ventilate even bigger. Can they find the kill? No, scurrying behind the tower they go. Here is the board, and I'm seeing 48 in the creep score, 4,000 gold. That's leading the team here for Marky Duda.
Does have that Magnify as well, so as that first time offline, that's a big one to get active. You yourself said this is kind of the first one that they want to pick up in order to really start finding success in these ganks. And that's one thing we haven't seen a lot of, is success in the fights as a whole, right? The crew, sure, they get a nice exchange on this left side, and the TKO is nice, but with the updates to the back timers and the jump pads, you get back to lane so quickly, that TKO doesn't really feel as good as it used to. And in fact, with the back they have to take, it probably has nothing at all.
Yeah. And I'm glad you highlighted that, Spooky, because I've been seeing a lot of flack on Reddit and different posts like, oh, why they reduced the timers, etc. They did it because there's more.
It starts with Celsius. Fuel I can feel good about. I'm gonna need it. Buys, tries, shoulders, a static hold, the good burn. School pickup, then meal prep. Besitos for the littles. To the station. Recharge. Then the 3-alarm comes in. Calls like these, why?
Get people to contest these objectives and fight a little bit more around these new neutrals. So that is why it is the slower timers. It's the Denim locked in the cage. Didn't have his jump. This time he's scurrying away. I don't know if he's gonna get out. Boom.
Tether does come down, and that's enough to get Marky the kill on that one. Looks like he was gonna sneak his way out after the ult missed from the Decker. But unfortunately, there's just too many bodies colliding. That's the second on the board for the jungler. Now he's looking around here as well, hovering, but mostly just looking for this invade. Try to take one more camp away now that he knows Denim is off the board.
Yeah, and that's a really good pick off for them. They found out this Kalari, and it's always good to bring numbers, especially because they have the catch suit, they have the ricochet and the tether. Now it's spotted. He's under duress.
Gonna be just fine. Taking a step back, good charm. Make sure spot a lot. Can just kind of float easily away. That is one thing that Loretta has phase. You get up there and you kind of just watch people as you float daintily down like a Mary Poppins type character, it feels like. So that's a little bit of wasted time for Marky. But with the pace that Death Awaits have been setting so far, it doesn't really feel like they mind that failed gank all that much.
Yeah, but I'm wondering how the crew is getting into this, because where is their setup? This might be a way to do it if they can get Denim. They secure this seedling for him because he gets a little bit of that extra gold. They do secure it, which is nice, but okay, what item is he going first? That will be the telling sign of how he feels in this game. Is it going to be an offensive item, one that maybe a little bit more defensive stats? That's the question. The big thing is they haven't been able to facilitate him, because if you look around the lanes, where's the setup? If he goes mid lane, Howie's got no setup. If he goes to the off lane, he's fighting against Aurora. Aurora's got escape, got durability. If you come over here, you got the stupor, but that's not enough. You need something more to get this Kalari where she needs to be. So Denim, a lot to do here in this one.
And here's the big question, Billy. Is it enough for Denim to simply be even at the mid to late game? Does he have to be ahead, or is there a world where the crew can just kind of group up, send in Candy, say, hey, do steal things, pull some cooldown, make a distraction, open the backline up for Denim to now fight for back camp? Be able to secure that one. Can they secure the kill afterwards? Marky not in a great spot, has no backup coming to him. That means Almento is not going to be in the lane. He's just going to have to watch as ADC takes him down.
Yeah, but that was a 5-man rotation to go over to this Kwang, but maybe a little bit too aggressive, knowing the Fangtooth was online, and that's why they're like, okay, we'll bring the 5 because then we can take the objective, and they're doing just that. This is almost looking like an EU game, my friend, where it's all about just how you rotate across the map. You get 1 kill, put that into objective, put that into an advantage. To answer your question about the Kalari, the big thing is about the timing. If the Kwang and the Aurora can scale up, they'll have so much defense that you can't burst them down. They'll just be really big in front, and then the Kalari, you have to pick your targets very carefully. So, I don't know, right now another Magnify on the field here for the Aurora, and she's got the Horned Plate as well, so probably going for the Tainted Guard, which will then detriment the Kalari even more. So, yeah, just really tough here. I like this item pickup, though. The Chilling Binder there from the side of Spotted. Just really want to slow people up with that Soulfire.
Do you think they go for the Tainted Guard, or do you think they go for, like, Tainted Bash and try to slow down some of the healing that can come out from this Rena?
I don't know. That's not enough magical damage to warrant it, I think. If there was like a Kwang in the offlane or Aurora in the offlane they were also playing against, then maybe or Countess even. Definitely against Countess. But I think the guard is okay, especially if the Twin Blast, maybe you're scaling for that, right? All the Fence Blades coming through. Here is Death Awaits. They're playing for the Prime again, and this time they get it to Candy under pressure.
Candy drops the shield flame onto 3 people, and it's probably the only reason he gets to walk out of this one alive. Now, eyes turn around, we spot it out, and Spotted Lost is looking lost indeed. Amento finds the credit for that one. Now they're going to push on forward. Almighty under the tower should have enough space to keep himself alive. That's a mini prime and a kill for Death Awaits.
That was an overstep there. They knew they were going for the prime, and they're like, all right, we got to contest this. We got to do something, but when you're a little bit later, have some indecision, that will cost you a member. But they grouped up here for the mid tower. I don't think that one will go down. But Bangle Mac, he's making a push there on the left.
Takes down the left tower. Should be an opportunity here for Death Awaits, but they decide, you know what? We're okay with that 1 tower going down. That's the trade for the mini prime. Not overstay. Marquis stay in here. Be careful around where he positions himself. Around a Denim doesn't quite find the kill, but Marky sure does. Candy out of the fight. Marky still hovering around. Goes up Bento to help out, and oh my god, the laser just does so much work. Bengal has to hop himself out of dodge. That's now 5-1 on the kill board.
My goodness, there was a massive ion strike there from the Decker in the midst of that fight to lock a couple people down and slow them up, and that allows Amento to just secure kill after kill. This Aurora is here to help facilitate Denim. He's been torn to shreds. No jeans for this guy. And Bengal, did he come back to the fight? He's also dead.
They came back, tried to bite off a little bit more, but they found themselves toothless in the fight. Not enough damage, and just too many slippery members. I mean, it's all in the name, right? You step up, Death Awaits.
We love to see it. Now it's about what objective are they going to roll into? Is it the Shaper? Is it a tower? These are the decisions that these players have to make now in this 1.8 patch. Spooky, we talk about it all the time. The flow. What is the flow chart now? And when you have all these new decisions, your flow chart can go a number of different ways. Comms have to be clean, because if you're caught in 2 mines, you won't get anything done effectively. Looks like they're going to take the safe play, just go for that tier 1 tower, level the sides there in duo lane.
Now, me personally, I really feel like the Shaper is very valuable, especially when a tier 1 tower is still up in the mid lane, because as we've talked about before, it's so crucial in controlling the map, having that first mid lane tower down. It opens up so many paths for you. If you can utilize the Shaper to try to get that push going, push yourself further ahead when you're already at a 7-kill lead, it feels like a very easy thing to do. That said, a lot of cooldowns were expended, and for my money, that's probably why Death Awaits didn't quite feel comfortable stepping up to that Shaper just in case they ran into the crew there.
Yeah, it was the Zinks and the Decker were deathly low. They had to go back. The only one alive was the Kwang with a decent amount of health. So he's like, all right, let me get a push. I'm trying to see what item that is. The second one there for the Decker. Our screen's a little bit small, folks. So tough to tell, but definitely going for this almost like Bellica the Zinks. I'm so sorry. This is kind of like a hybrid build, sort of like what you see on Bellica, right? A little bit of magic, a little bit of damage. So with the Typhoon to boot, you can just be another DPS out there along with the Sky.
You know, this is the first time I've seen something like this. Now, I grant you, you're gonna see a kill there. Last time we saw this was on Bronze Lobby. It looks like Amento is bringing a little bit more hurt than my Bronze teammates do. Take down a couple members here. Angle. Out by himself here. Cage comes up as well, and Candy doesn't have a way to get back to his team. Charge on board. He drops some damage, but it's gonna be Bob who finds the last shot to put Spotted Lost out of this fight. Mento's still flying on forward by himself. Those shield slams gonna come up and down, but the blink is good to get him right back to his team. That's gonna keep him alive, and that's gonna be the disengage from Death Awaits.
They do lose Spot again. They force out a couple of cooldowns like that shield slam. It's like, maybe hold that,
Hold on to that.
Yeah, because it's like you didn't have your backup or your follow-up to get anything done. But that will be the first Fang Tooth here secured from Death Awaits, so allow those extended buff timers. And more importantly, they deny the third from the crew to get those extra stats online. So we do love to see it. It is the Spectra that the Zinx is running. So a little bit of more on-hit damage, attack speed, ability, haste, etc. So just had to check my notes on that one and the image. Going for the Scalding Scepter, so maybe a Caustica could be in the future. What's that, Spook?
I know you didn't have to check that. I know you just remembered what it was naturally.
Checked in my Rolodex of my brain hole, man. But this...
We're now in a position where we've got Primal coming up. Shaper is still the target here. Primal's going to be a ways away. Everyone just went down. Finally, here's the movement towards the Shaper. Talk a little bit about what's going to bring towards Death Away. Crew make a big contest around this?
I mean, they don't have the Kalari. Denim is not here. He's by the Prime, so there's no hunt available to secure it. And so you think, yeah, the Shaper is going to go the way of Death Awaits, and now the Cataclysm is going to rain upon the map. As Spooky, you ask what's going to be coming, and it's meteors from the sky, as well as the fury of the heavens, everything raining from the burgundy skies. It's going to open up these things on the map, right? These new little pathways, these new ins and outs. A good trade here to get the mini Prime. But then those seedlings, right? They're going to put in a lot of pressure for these lanes. There's like an extra siege tank. And then those golden flowers. It's an extra 60 gold as you spot them across the map. You can see Bangle, he's in trouble. Ooh.
The stasis is not going to save his life. Immediately popped. I popped Hero himself. That's this tower the way of Death Awaits here. Philly, I gotta point out, man.
Yeah.
If I ask someone to describe these guys, hold on, thought, we're gonna see a contest. Denim finally makes a play here. It's a big shutdown on a Pop Hero. It's not enough to save that tower, but it does get a trade going for them now. Find a way back out. Spotted Lost has no reprieve. Instead, it's gonna be a trade 2 for 2, back and forth, a double kill for Denim.
Oh, but can he survive? That's the question, my friend. He's got a little sliver of health. Oh, they tried to find him undead, but they won't be able to spot him. He'll get the back off because he has the Prime, I believe. Yes, well done. And that is how he's going to navigate these fights. These is what the Assassins want to do. They want right before the dust settles, that's when they strike. Because you're not sure where everybody is. Abilities are flying everywhere, the visuals and all that. That's when the Assassins, they spot out who's weak. Guillotine slices right through, gets a 2-kill, gets a shutdown. It's exactly what Denim needed.
Yeah, it's been a long time coming. We've been waiting to see him make some plays here. Still not quite caught up, but getting on the board makes a big difference. Now he's got that bank here. Solaris online as well, so he's bringing a lot of pain, and that's pretty much all this Kalari can offer. So you have to make sure the items are there. Now we're going to see a little bit more grouping. Prime is up. For the first time, it feels like you might have an actual way to start fighting around this. In fact, just going to straight up pull it here.
And there's no Abyssal Rift here for the side of the Rena. That's one of their main engage tools. So you can see Spot kind of just like, all right, let me poke people from the side. But now it's a good pincer movement here from Death Awaits.
Look for it. Some CC here, but Denim takes the first kill. No more Decker, no more cages. He's got to find a way out of this when he's being chased down, rooted by none other than Income himself. Finds that one, and that could be everything they need to open it up. Low with Spotted Lost here. Takes to the skies. Doesn't have a good way out though. Marky Duda is all the way down the lane, and now you're going to try to start a back Have the feet to get it. No! Immediately Pop Hero puts it on the ground. Pops one more kill. Somebody gonna be fine on the other side of the map. That means the objective. That can go to Death Awaits.
That was a great pincer movement from the side of Death Awaits. They didn't know which way to look the Pooh because what their comp is designed to do is burst a singular target. Well, if two team members are looking one way and two are looking the other, you're not getting your full force of damage to take the people down. So they did get a good assassinate on the Decker, which was a primary target. Used the Ion Strike as their, martyrdom, basically. Didn't get much out of it. Were able to eliminate her, and then the Aurora kind of fell in the scuffle, but that's what you want that Aurora to do. She's going to be frontlining, taking a ton of damage, CCing people, and then allow the team to follow up. It's this Decker and Skylar combination, my friend. It's just so much damage. One ricochet stuns them up, and the hypercharge and just the bad medicine pepper shots is just crushing kids. So it's a really scary DPS line from the side of the Dusk.
It's a strong DPS line, and in addition to that, it's also a strong front line, right? You have to do a lot of work to get past this wand, to get past this Aurora. And by the time you do, you've probably eaten maybe a couple CCs, and with those CCs comes the follow-up damage. You're never reaching this backline full health unless you find the most beautiful flank behind everybody. And if you're the one starting up the objective yourself, you're never going to find that flank because you're already in the pit. It's such a tough situation to be in. Now second Shaper being started up here. The crew looking at the Primal.
Yeah, this is a very interesting trade choice, right? We always talk about...
I like it.
Yeah, I don't like it either. In terms of priority, you always want to go for Fang or Prime first, depending on which one it is, and then go for the Shaper last, especially if you know it's your enemy team's third Fang, but then they get some exit kills, and two go down in the scuffle.
Hey, Marky is absolutely fine taking that spill. He's taken down off the board, and that means Primal now only on 4 members of the crew. Goes over to spotted loss as well, so he's gonna give up a kill. But no! Incomplexity way too deep on that one. Gives up a second kill. Gotta make sure you're not overextending now. I have to wonder, will these seedlings be able to find the value that you took the Shaper for?
I don't think so, especially in this mid lane where they grouped up so heavily. They'll finally get that mid-tier 1, which is good. You need to open up that space on the map. Just so much defensive items from the side of Candy. Look at that, the Tainted Bastion, as you said, buddy. That one's coming out. And the Flux Matrix, which got a buff in this most recent patch, so good pickup there for him. But yeah, you make that trade, you're saying, okay, this is the call, and I'm glad the team went to get the Shaper, but not the right call. The 250 experience, 300 global gold, not enough for getting that Primal Fang on your side, getting your second Fang Tooth, and denying the third from the other team. Yeah. Pretty rough decision there. They're going to have to look at that one in, VOD review, but still not out of this one yet. They're ahead in the kills.
Maybe if the Shaper just went down a little bit faster, I could understand that particular call, right? Go to the Shaper, we have a lead, burn it down quickly, then make our way over and either get exit kills and make their Primal worthless, or we get the Primal for ourselves. Unfortunately, we don't live in a world where the Shaper goes down that quickly. So now Death Awaits are in an awkward position, right? They've had the lead for most of this game. They want to be fighting. But now they've got to do it into the Primal Enhanced crew. And if there's one thing I've learned from my bronze games, is that when you fight into the Primal team, it doesn't typically go that well.
No, it's very difficult. Even if you are clad in purple, it doesn't matter. That true damage from the blaze just chunks through everything. Doesn't care. And so that's another decision-making piece, right? Knowing that you're gonna fight another uphill battle because the defending team has the blaze. So the crew, they extend this one even further. But my friend, what are they extending it for? Who is their win condition here? The TV is the carry, yes, but is he the best carry in the world? No, not against the Skylar, right? The steal, is he gonna carry your squad? No, but who's not gonna get carried is Pops. He goes down.
Bengal, who's the win con for this team. Ooh. Denim finds a second one, and all of a sudden, Death Awaits down to 3 members. They're not going to connect onto anybody, and he gets...
Chewy dual flavors drip with sourness.
Charlie, eat me! When you dare to combine sweet and tart, you get a Sweet Tarts rope that's so sweet, you'll pucker. Sweet Tarts. Dare to combine.
With DoorDash Streaks, you rack up weekly discounts, so you win every week. But so much winning energy can be a lot. Win every week with DoorDash Streaks. Opt in, order every Saturday, build the savings.
It's the personal price plan theorem. If you bundle home and auto, that can equal an affordable price just for you.
Bundle and save with the personal price plan.
All right. Yeah.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
This donkey call is just right. And this donkey call is just right. And this donkey call is just right.
How long is she gonna do this?
No, this.
The home with Duncan is where you want to be.
Down trying to approach. But Deathaway should be able to peel off. I just gotta wonder, like, what are we doing, right? Obviously, we're trying to three-man gank the steal, but why are we trying to three-man gank the steal of all people?
Yeah, definitely the last on your bingo card in terms of the primary gank targets. But this is where a lot of teams struggles. How do you close out the game? You have the lead, you have the advantage. What do you do to press it? And sometimes they flounder here, and two of them go down. It could be the Aurora next.
Almighty looking to cut off Incomplexity as his twin guns, but can he find twin blast for a kill? Doesn't look like it. Over the wall, the Complexity. He's walking his way back out. Still under duress though, maybe. Just look at the way he's being hunted. Finally, the crew will peel off.
Thank you for this.
And frankly, the chase that this Aurora put the entirety of the crew on kind of just saved that entire scuffed fight from Deathaway. Because they get absolutely nothing off of that. And now everyone's back up.
It was a good delay, whether it was intentional or not. You allowed your Zinks and Decker to get back in this one, and they are your such facilitators on your team, right? They're setting up the stuns, right? Locking priority targets down, peeling for the Skylar, etc. So, but what do the Deathaway's team do now? Do they go wait for the Fangtooth? Right, yeah, group up as 5 and go for an objective is definitely the move, but you got to be watching your lanes there as well, making sure that they are, with you and not against you. Looks like the teams are grouping up here for the Shaper now.
Wait, have an opportunity here. Right lane, getting pushed on, but you can afford to sacrifice that tier 1 tower if you're looking at a primal. Tough to get into though, even with fully grouped members. You still have to make your way past this steal, past the hope of this howitzer. Like the Shaper might go down uncontested. I say that, but Incomplexity says, no sir, let's go ahead and split this fight off. Does secure the Shaper, but now they have to find a fight afterwards. We're already into the stasis, does find a way out. Denim, though, cannot say the same. He's using his entire health bar to form a wall to stop a Mento from aggressing, and in the meantime, Spotted lost. Picks off Jungler, 1v1. Back out, no! He finds the CC, and the shutdown comes through from a Mento. That could be all the momentum that they need.
That's a good fight. I was wondering how the Deathaway squad was going to engage. What is their engage tool here, knowing that they don't have a tried and true mid laner, right? It's not a Gideon with the black hole or the Tesla Dome over the top, whatever. It's through the Aurora. And a nice Nice job for Complexity to split the fight, maybe a second or two too late, but it was a great coordinated effort from Death Awaits to be like, all right, Wall, everybody jump in. All right, let's go. They were a split second away from securing that Shaper, and if they had won it, get the 2 kills in the back end, whew, that would have put a lot of lane pressure down for them to be able to get this Prime, but fortunately not the case. I like what Spotted is doing here, kind of scaling into this game, finding kill after kill in some of these scrappy engagements. Goes down at the end of that one, but still putting it in a ton of damage. They have to be careful this right now.
Really, that's what the crew needs, right? You got this untraditional support in the Rena. So what is she going to be doing? She's not going to be peeling a whole lot. That's pretty much what your offlaner has to do. So you have to be able to bring the damage. You have to be able to disrupt those fights in some way. And sometimes just getting people to turn their eyes away from your ADC onto you is enough disruption to bring. Question is, can it work time and time again? We're getting close towards this 4 Prime. Now, we're gonna have to see, can the crew do this again? Can they fight the winning fight here? If they don't get caught out early, then we'll survive.
Gets out there. It's about the next neutral objective. I believe the Fang is up here. Yeah, we see the dinosaur. He's unsuspecting of what, you know, Bedlam is about to get onto his doorstep. Yeah, unfortunately crashing his day. And it looks like Death Awaits without a pick is going to start this one up. They do have all their ultimates on the board, but so do the crew.
If it was me, I would stop coming into the pit if I was the Fang team. Crew, looking for a way into it themselves. See if we can give a doctor's visit. Find a corpse, though. Primal Fang 2 secured by Death Awaits. Candy's in the back end looking for a charge forward. It's low from Marky, and he's going to get dropped by Almighty. And they find a way forward into the rest of this fight. Good cage separates a lot of it. And Complexity is super low right now. Undead as well. They've taken a lot of damage. No shield slam comes in, but Undead jumps over. Aurora goes down, and that cage is being utilized in its entirety to try to separate things. It's only 2 left alive. The duo lane for Death Awaits. They're really hoping that their name does not ring true.
I love this chase down from the crew. They knew they could press the advantage, especially with the Kalari. That's where she's licking her lips. She loves when there are stragglers, right? People straying from the flock, able to find in Complexity there on the Aurora. But fantastic peel from the Decker to keep the carry alive. As long as those 2 are up, they can keep the base safe. They got what they came for, though, my friend. They got the Primordial Blaze. They got their second Fang Tooth. They know they, well, yeah, what do you mean, sort of? They did, no?
They only got it on 2 people now.
That's okay. It's better than none. And they're giving up the Prime here, but I think they'll be able to at least defend the base here for now. They have all their outer towers still up.
It's a tough spot, right? You make the call to go for the objective, and you lose 3 people on your way out. You've lost most of the value of that Primal Fang Tooth. It's still on your ADC, which I think is the most important one, right? Memento, being able to shred down these targets with that Primal Blade is important. Now you're going up against the crew, a fully stacked 5-man Prime. You're going to be grabbing the Shaper as well. And the one thing that I think is terrifying is trying to contest the Seedlings, who are also surrounded by enhanced minions. Like, that is an incredibly strong push that Death Awaits doesn't have a ton of answers for. Like, where's the wave clear here?
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, we said going for the Fang without a pick was pretty precarious. They did it anyway. But yeah, the wave clear is going to be a little bit tough. Normally, your mage is your mid laner, is your wave clear, right? They're the ones that can flash a wave real quick, rotate, do whatever. The Zinks, not really the best at that, unfortunately. So they're going to be looking for the Decker and the Skylar, rather, to put in some of that damage. So if they get some of those seedlings down, their towers stay alive. The big thing about the seedling pressure, though, is that it splits the team. And this is where that coordination and communication comes in. Knowing, oh, Kwong, I have to go to the other side of the map to get the seedling. I'll be right back. Give me 5 seconds or whatever it is. But that's just enough time for you to then take a tower. You have to retreat, whatever it is. You can see the crew going for a nice push here in the mid lane. They get a tower. They get some minutes.
Very funny to use that example is Marky goes to the other side of the map, looking to try to take down maybe Candy. Then that should alleviate some of this pressure here. You still got the enhanced minions to worry about. Right, the crew, you're late enough in the game where they can just take these steps forward and say, all right, here we are. Do you want to fight us? No? Well, then you're going to have to deal with this poke damage, Denim. Simply hop over the Decker Cage. That thing is containing absolutely nothing right now. And wait, buying time. That's going to go down.
It's a great siege here from the side of the crew. It's a 4-1 split, and they find 2 inhibitors. Now they're sieging the base. The Abyssal Rift creates some more space for them. Their engage tools for the side of the crew are immaculate right now. They're putting the pressure on.
Memento barely alive after Denim aggresses, and it seems like Complexity cannot say the same. His situation is quite simple. On the grayscale, 3 dead, and now the crew is looking to turn this entire game around in just a blink of an eye. Undead Horde all the way in, but finds himself in the middle of an apocalypse itself. All 5 fall. Death awaits, fall to their grave, and the crew take game 1.
Oh my goodness, we were worried about, okay, how are they gonna... Yeah, that's a big big
You would kill me if we didn't shout it out.
That's fair, that is fair. We were worried about how they were going to scale. I, for one, was concerned, but they were playing a burst composition, and eventually when you're at 35 minutes, everyone's at 6 items, your burst potential is insane. The amount of penetration, magic penetration that you have can cut through any defense. The problem with the side of Death Awaits, they didn't have the right engage. They had the Kwong, they had the Aurora, but you have to be very good when you are trying to engage singularly with those characters. The follow-up has to be there. The Kwong was engaging time after time, but would fall immediately. And then they didn't know what to do after that, because where was the follow-up? The traditional mage needs to be there, folks. Sync's just not it, unfortunately. But good job for the crew. This is a good testament of, okay, you can lose a little bit, you can take some knocks, but be like Rocky, bounce back, right? Win in the later rounds, and you'll take the game. Don't just surrender right away. Hey, I'm from Philly, baby. We know Rocky Balboa always gets back up no matter how hard you get hit. That's what I'm talking about right now. The crew, though, they're up 1 in this one.
Welcome back, everybody. Thank you for your patience, and it will be rewarded in due time. Game number 2 of the crew against Death Awaits. Philly, it starts right here, right now, right back in the draft.
Oh, and I love just getting right into the action, man. We know these draft picks are going to be coming in hot between these squads. I still expect the crew to go for this burst composition. That is, from my research on them, what I've seen in their scrims and etc., that's what they like to do. And this starts with Bengal Mac on that howitzer, really just putting in about a lot of that burst damage. The Rena then coming in to clean up, and then they kind of go from there. On the side of Death Awaits, Pop, I'm I need a traditional mage, brother. Please give me something. Give me something. I'll take like anything. Get gadget, an Argus, getting something, please. Chances are we're going to see like a phase or a Greystone or a Steel go in the mid lane there for Pop, so we'll see how it goes. But they didn't play poorly. They played a great game. It's just one or two decisions didn't go their way, and then that cost them in the end. So something that they'll have to clean up.
It really felt like a case of, actually something you said kind of towards the middle of that game.
Sure.
Is where Death Awaits didn't seem to know quite how to end the game that they were playing. They had a very good lead, they had a strong position, but they didn't know where to go with it in order to close things out. And that is possibly the biggest mistake you can make against a team like the Crew, who just wants to scale up and reach that late game. If you're fighting them while they're weaker than you, great. You probably win those fights. You wait for them to scale up, we see what happens.
Yeah, it's like Magikarp, right? Like you beat him down while he's splashing, you're like, okay, he's nothing. Then he evolves and turns to Gyarados, you're like, oh crap. And you gotta run for your lives.
Evolve in the middle of a battle.
After the battle, whatever, he takes his licks, he evolves. But interesting set of bans here coming out, my friend. The Crew banned Rena, even though they were playing the Rena. So an interesting tactic for them to kind of switch it up. And then Death Awaits kind of doing the same. They ban out the Kwong, even though they were playing the Kwong. This will open up the Boris, the big bear man, who's just been a menace in this tier. This guy, whew, he's tough.
This is a big one to let through because remember, this was banned in game number 1 as well. Granted, it was the third ban, and I believe it was actually banned by the Crew as well. So allowing it through here is a big sign. That said, the Yurei also gets through. Denim, player who loves these assassin type characters. We saw him with Kalari. Yurei plays very similarly to that. I've actually heard people call Yurei just a better Kalari. I'll get your thoughts on that.
No, that's absolutely right. Just better damage, can heal herself, has a better ultimate. There's lots of things to say about the Yurei. Even though, Spooky, we don't talk about Yurei. You remember that. We don't talk about Yurei.
You're right. We don't talk about Yurei.
But we're doing it now, and I love this combination of the Steel and the Yurei together because you scoop them up with the Soul Storm, you slam them back down with the Shield Slam, and that is a great wombo combo. Now it's about, okay, you have your two pieces. Where's your follow-up? Who is it going to be? A traditional mage? Is it going to be your ADC? What do you do from there to make sure you secure the fight? Because those ultimates can only go so far. On the flip side, we are seeing the Rampage. Does it go support? Does it go offlane? Does it go jungle? So flexible is this pick. He's not infallible. He's not unkillable, not impossible to take down, right? You can play against him. He is just very annoying, which is why a lot of people ban him in the first place. And then the phase. Haven't really seen too much of her, but in this 1.8 patch has made a resurgence, got some buffs. So people are trying to figure out, is she useful? We'll see if the Crew can make it work.
Yeah, I'm actually quite glad to see the Crew pick this one up, just so we know it's not going to pop heroes. That said, though, we do see that Morn get picked up, which is another pop hero pick. Now, granted, he just plays that in support, so I have to wonder if we'll see kind of what you were talking about in game number 1, some of these pieces being shifted around, slid into new positions, and maybe some role swaps happening here in game 2.
Yeah, that's exactly what we're talking about in this type of league, right? Everyone's still figuring out, am I really a carry? Did I want to try support? Am I doing this? Like, I know when I was playing, I signed up always as support, but somehow I end up in the off lane or whatever. So it really just depends on, how your team composition is going. We are seeing the gadget, and there's that follow-up that I wanted to see. As soon as that Soul Storm comes in, the Shield Slam, boom, Tesla Dome right on top. And then, you can kind of win the fight from there. Death Awaits really going for this pit brawl composition. Look at these huge global ultimates, these massive wombo combos that they've put together. They rounded out with the 4th shot master, the Revenant, to kind of put in some of that damage, clean up some of those kills. He's going to be looking to go Vanquisher, probably first or second items there. On the flip side, though, some more of that pick composition. We're seeing the Sticky Rick. Is that going to be Bangle? I hope so.
Man, I don't know, because I'm looking over this whole draft here, and I'm thinking, well, sure, Pop Hero isn't playing phase, but is Bengal going to be taking it into the mid lane? Like,
oh, God.
Who's the mid laner for the Crew right now?
Because normally it would be like, a Skylar can go mid lane. We've seen that, right? It's not super unorthodox.
Oh, there it is.
Phase Richter duo. Diabolical Spooky. I hope not, but maybe it is phase mid lane. I mean, we've seen it, right? It's not the best, but certainly not the worst. So I don't know. Bengal might be showing some new tech.
I got a big question for you, Philly, and
Sure.
I'm like 20% on you having an A.
Horsemen, return the stolen Butterfingers and we'll return your lost head. Never!
Whoa. Done it. One last bite?
Nope. No one lays a finger on your Butterfinger, ever.
Try new Marshmallow Butterfinger.
It's 4:49 a.m. Let's go. First is Celsius. No sugar, all the good stuff. 12 miles. 6 comes easy, the next 6 punish. Quick change, back to work. I've got a goal to hit and a deck to conquer. Work late, but still make it to meet the girls out. Hey, it's cardio.
You wouldn't settle for Bait Man when there's Batman?
Don't touch that. Well, now I want to touch it more.
Yep, shouldn't have touched it. Little help.
Don't settle for just any insurance when there's State Farm.
When you play hard, you need your eyes to keep up. Try Blink. The only eye drop of its kind with a unique 3-in-1 extended relief formula to get your eyes back in the game.
Chose delivery over your beloved groceries? Use Ziploc to help keep your food fresh for the next meal. For the love of food, Ziploc.
SC Johnson.
Can we stop for food?
No, hay comida en la casa.
Answer for this.
No.
If FaZe
Stranger danger serious.
is connected to Richter, and Richter lands a pull, but then you pull the Richter to the FaZe before they finish the pull, does whoever Richter hit with the Riplash go all the way to FaZe?
Chad, I'll let you answer that, but no. I think it actually does. It does like the extended yoink, but you have to be very pinpoint with it, right? It has to be like as soon as it goes out, you know it's gonna connect, you gotta yoink, and then it lashes, then it rips, because I've seen people go into the fountain with that kind of technique. So if they pull it off here, I'll eat a piece of paper or something, dude, because like that would be bonkers if we witnessed that on stream.
You know, stranger things have happened, is what I'll say there.
True.
But also easier things have happened as well. So looking over at Death Awaits draft, I feel like this is a little bit more coherent, a little bit stronger. There's a lot more follow-up, which is the big thing you were looking for, right?
Sure.
We've got the Steel, the Ure, and the Gadget can all kind of go together. Then you've got Morn, who's just generically good. Revenant against Skylar is a weird matchup because, you know, Revenant locked into just that fixed attack speed, 4 shots, you're done. Skylar kind of the opposite of, haha, laser beam, are you having fun yet? How does this matchup look?
It's a really good question because these two carries operate extremely differently. It's about the team as a whole. What the crew is doing is this is a pick composition, right? They want to find a singular target. It's like burst. It's the same thing, but it's more. This is more about stuns than just like crazy strong abilities, right? Do I get a boulder into a Riplash? Do I get a phase lance into a Riplash? Right? If you lock one of those targets down, then utilize the hypercharge to eliminate them. That's good.
Steel has no shield.
If these two are battling it out, the Skylar versus the Revenant, it's be very interesting because Skylar, she's a little bit slow when she's using that hypercharge, which makes her a little bit vulnerable for those fourth shots. But if she can time it right to get the Sky Assault off right as he's trying to shoot it, then he can mess up the timing, miss the fourth shot. If he's reloading while the hypercharge is active, ooh, that is dangerous there for the Rev. But if he can get the root while she's trying to fly, then she's locked in. It's danger for her. So I kind of like the dichotomy between these two. It's a good tick for tack. It's going to come down to the pilot, I think, between the carries.
So, a little note for everybody that things have been a little bit backwards on the draft so far. So, I guess this phase makes a little bit more sense.
It makes so much more sense, Spooky. So much.
So does the Gadget, honestly. Like, I was looking over, I was like, I don't remember Pop Hero really playing that much Gadget over here.
No.
Bengal sure has.
Yep.
So now, I have to ask you the question, Billy.
Sure.
How does that change things? Does it change things in any way?
I mean, no, the strategy between the two, like, what you drafted in your squad is still going to be the same, right? It's just about who is now piloting these characters. This makes so much more sense because Venom is an assassin player, is playing the Ure, is not playing. We tried to make the Boris fit the mold. I mean, he is kind of assassin-y, but he's also a bruiser, you know, whatever. But yeah, Ure makes so much more sense. Pop playing the phase, we know they are going to do that. So, okay, I'm liking what they're putting down here. Is this now Rampage support and Richter offlane? Or does this Rampage go into the offlane and the Boris in the jungle? I don't like Boris offlane. Doesn't matter who you're playing against, whether it's the Steel, which is probably going to be in the offlane again. I just don't like it. He doesn't facilitate as much. So I'll be curious to see where these beefy boys go.
I really don't know where I want this draft to go. I do think that this draft from the crew makes more sense being a crew draft now, rather than going from "we're gonna burst you, haha" to "we're gonna chain CC you and play phase."
Right? Yeah.
So I think kind of figured out a little bit more. The only things left to really find out is the story of the game itself, and there's only one place we can find that, Philly. But I've got a trick for you, all right?
Oh.
Because the game is actually behind a paywall, and you have to pay by sitting here and watching and making sure you're still tuned in while we go to a break. And fellows, game number 2 here, the National Predecessor League. Can the crew take this into, or death awaits, push us to a third and reveal the secret hitting game that awaits? Spooky and Philly, here to take you through it. Philly, we're putting money down on this. What are you thinking?
Oh, this is tough. I kind of like the crew, man. I'm a big fan of ultimates. I'm a big fan of neutral objective fighting. So especially with the shapers and the seedlings and all that jazz coming through in 1.8, I gotta like the crew. They're squatting up. They're looking to put the beat down on.
We're no longer putting money down on this. You kind of took my bet on that one. It's not to say that Death Awaits doesn't have the tools, but it's a very unorthodox draft that we've got here coming out from them. Pop Hero back on this phase mid, which frankly I have not seen before, but I'm ready to have my eyes opened and my mind enlightened.
Okay. How does this phase get unlocked, right?
I wasn't going to make you do it. I was going to make him do it.
Oh, okay. All right. My bad.
Like, you can do it if you want to.
That's my job. Okay. It's my job. Yeah, the phase. How are they going to go up against this gadget who usually likes to sit in lane, just take wave after wave, put the pressure on your tower, doesn't really rotate to the side lanes? Whereas this phase, you want to rotate to side lanes. You want to link up with people. You want to get that energy lance in. I think what this phase will do is go for the jungler and help with those neutral objectives. We're seeing the Rampage is going to be the jungler here in this one. We were curious about what it was going to be. So ramp, link up. Let's take down Seedling early. Let's try to roll that advantage. So I'm seeing those two, they're going to be combining.
All right, well, let's see what we have in store. Let's get into the game itself and let these teams let their gameplay do the talking for them. Crew definitely want to just play a pretty standard game, right? They want to just do their normal game of Predecessor, where it feels like the Death Awaits squad have a lot more levers to pull, a lot more dials to turn, and maybe a lot more tricks to pull out of their pockets here.
Oh, absolutely. Death Awaits composition is very difficult to execute, right? You have to be sticky with the Ricky, and you have to get those energy lances connected. The boulder tosses have to be clean. So gonna be tough for them, but if they can make it work, could be good. Then it's about how do you close the game out. I'm looking at the offlane here a little bit. We're seeing the Boris versus the Steel. Once again, Candy, he's a support player at heart, so let him play a support. Just put him in the offlane role and let him do what he needs to do. This time he goes for the tunic. Last time he went for the shawl because there's magical damage. Now he's facing a physical guy. So a good little change up there. once again, Steel. He's just going to be looking to hold it down, not going to be doing anything crazy. It's this Boris, though, that perplexes me because Boris wants to snowball. He wants to get an item up on you so he can just 1v1 and go for those objectives in the jungle solo, basically. So keeping him locked in this off lane, knowing he's up against the Steel, interesting choice for me. We'll see how that goes.
Maybe just looking to utilize some of the pressure that Boris can bring to the lane. Maybe even looking to rotate out of this lane, right? Because you don't want to get bogged down trading with the Steel who's not going to die, right?
Yeah.
So if you're already looking to have Pop Hero rotate and help out your jungler here, maybe you just get both heroes to do it, right? Maybe you just say, we don't need these lanes. We need to snowball and win quickly. We don't want Bengal Mac to get online with Gadget passive. We don't want that massive power coming up. Try to move as quick as possible. But like you said, it's going to be tough because there's no hard win con for Death Awaits.
It's like, are they scaling? Are they trying to win in the mid game? Very difficult, but a Rip Flash comes through, the blink expended.
Oh, Amento wants to follow the blink out as well. Doesn't quite have the last shot, just one more, and Amento, blood almighty, not able to body block.
Ooh, I mean, that's exactly what Undead, the captain, is there to do. He got a good yoink and facilitates the first blood for his carry. That's a great start here for Death Awaits. Bengal Mac denied the first blood again. Sorry, bud. But, yeah, that's what they want to do. I mean, the Skylar is your hyper carry. She is going to be the one that's going to win you in the late game. It's not going to be the Boris. It's not going to be the Rampage. It's not going to be the FaZe for sure. So it's got to be all on this Skylar for Protect 1 strategy. It's about how much can they bend and not break here in the early game.
I see a late game FaZe pentakill. We're going to come back to this for sure, not FaZe. But, man, go back to that duo lane, right? There are times when it's kind of more important to stop juking and just hide behind your team. And it feels like Spotted Lost was still in the juke mindset. But really, it's just the time to let's stand behind Twin Blast. Maybe he'll take a couple hits.
Sure.
It's fine so long as we don't give up the first blood. But this also position the crew was in last game, right?
Try this on.
Blood, start moving things along pretty quickly, right? Rack up a bunch of kills on behalf of Marky, who's making that rotation onto Bengal as well. Not going to find anything on this. But the fact is, the crew can play pretty comfortably from behind. They've shown they're very good at it so far. And so I can't imagine this is a position where they're thinking, oh man, we're in a bad spot here. It more feels like, take a step back, and let's see what we can do on this right side. In complexity. Very squishy on this bear, but does have a blink. Denim follows him up. Can you get into the river? Can you find enough space? It will look so.
I mean, a blink for blink on that one, but in complexity is going to be scared once again in that off lane. And this is what we were talking about in game number 1. The fact that you have the steal, you know that you're going to be pushed under tower, which allows then your jungler to make those ganks. And so, okay, they did just that, caught the bear out, get a crucial cooldown. That's 5 minutes off the board, so the 9-minute mark is when that one will be back up. They'll have that timer locked in their head. Right now, locked and loaded is Spot. He's under pressure once again.
Oh, but now Undead Horde is the one getting pulled under the tower. Not a lot of follow-up there. Should be okay for now. Rip Flash off the mark, and so they go their separate ways. Like this from Horde. Get some vision down to be up in the jungle to know if that enemy jungler is going to be coming around. Instead, Denim's going to be getting chased out.
My next target
Very
awaits.
low on his health bar, but successful on the seed lane. He's okay with it.
I don't know if he got it though, my friend. I think it's still
Oh, wait, no,
up
he
there.
did not.
Yeah,
Right.
which is huge. If the Rampage can get the seedling, that's 2 seedlings like we talked about. That's a level 6. Not that it's the most impactful on Rampage because he just becomes like a large man just walking around. But I mean, you're still at level 6 when you go to this first Fangtooth. It's about if they can secure. Right now, Bengal Mac, he's being rumbled and he's taken down.
Hey, maybe you don't need a seedling as long as you can find a nice kill here. That's going to transition right over to the objective. Wow, Duelate still has some fighting going on. Amento takes the skies, make sure Spotted Lost. Can't pressure him out too much. Across the board here, Death Awaits is again winning in their small skirmishes. Get the river pit, get a good fight in the duo side. Sure, you don't get the second kill, but you've gotten a lot off those small fights here. Death Awaits should be feeling comfortable with their position.
Yeah, it's those seedlings, right? That's extra gold, extra experience in that pocket. In complexity has to be careful here, though. Can't stay too long, knowing that Denim on that that Ure is on the red side. Once again, this dual lane is non-stop action spotted under duress. Once again, this guy just taking all the bullets.
This time, Pop Hero also on the rotation over. Not likely to find too much on the kill here. Be looking for a Psychic Lance, but a little too far out. I'm surprised we don't see Deathweights just make the transition over to right? All the pressure that the had, feels like a very easy call to say, you know what? They're under their tower. Wave is pushing up. Let's just go get this objective. And you do see Marky on that left side. So they may make the rotation, but they're losing time on it.
And the rotation would have been the right call, friend. Instead of Pop going for, oh, he gets popped right there. The shield slam, the shield slaps, the Pharaoh swipes, and now the shield wall, the blink, the punch. Oh no, the Barry doesn't know which way to go. He's running for his life. No mana in his pocket. The blast cone, though, might create some separation.
He's just buying time at this point. He uses the wall, and just like that, in Complexity should actually be able to survive this one. No rotation coming over, which means all that, Philly, for naught.
I mean, my friend, we saw it in game number 1 on the Aurora. That guy's got the fanciest feet I've ever seen. So it doesn't surprise me in the least that he was able to get out of that, especially against a Steve. But back to that earlier call. Whoa, there's more calls to be had. First off, the Testodome, though, in defense, and Bengal Mac taken down again.
Yeah, that one is not going to save his life. I'll let you know one thing here.
Yeah.
Really, I thought maybe I won't, because Denim now wants to take a fight with a 2v1. That glance not going to connect with the root. Marky, I don't know about this one, but oh, they got a visor from downtown. A Mento puts him down.
Oh my word. And this is what we were talking about, homie. It's Pop gonna be linking up here with Marky every step of the way, facilitating this rampage, giving that extra abilities, that damage. Pop, pop, pop. They were finding 2 in the mid lane. They roll that easy into the Fang Tooth. All right.
He's inside the 20. Touchdown!
New customers bet $5 and get $300 in bonus bets if you win.
Isn't it kind of crazy how simple things make a big difference? Like almonds. Just blend them up with water and salt. Oh yeah, that's good. You know what other simple thing makes a big difference? A good walk. Michelle, do you fancy a walk? Okay, we can race. Not giving her a head start again.
Calafia organic almond milk. Just almonds, water, and salt.
AI is old news, but apartmental intelligence, that's the future. Picture your perfect apartment. Watch this. It's in my head. And now it's up there. Oh! Apartments.com, a place to find a place. Oh!
With DoorDash Streaks, you rack up weekly discounts, so you win every week. But so much winning energy can be a lot. Win every week with DoorDash Streaks. Opt in, order every Saturday, build the savings.
All right, Death Awaits, you have the lead. How can we keep it?
Brew looking over and contesting the mini prime here. Questions by himself on it. No good secure here from Candy. This feels like it should go to Incomplexity. It's just a matter of how much fighting can you do. And the answer is a little bit too much. Comes on around, but it's not your crew. It's Death Await.
And yeah, Death awaited Candy there. He just got crunched, licked, put down, whatever you want to call it. He's eliminated. I was the first time I've ever seen just like a standoff in that prime pit with the 2 off laners. Just like, I guess we'll both kind of hit it. And maybe I'll get the last hit. I don't know. But it is Incomplexity who comes up with it. So a lot of neutral objectives. That's 2 seedlings, 1 Fangtooth, 1 mini prime, all going the way of Death Awaits. They have that economical advantage for sure here in this one. It's about, can they keep it? Now, the crew, can they bend and not break? They haven't lost any structures, not even any plates here, so they're feeling okay. They know that they're just a little bit behind, so they'll be wary about taking some of these skirmishes moving forward.
I will say a big difference between this game 2 and game 1 we saw is that in game 1, the crew, while they were losing a lot of these neutral objectives, they were taking the Fang Teeth.
Yes,
this time
were.
around, Death Awaits are the first ones to grab that objective alongside that mini prime, so they're starting to stack things up a little bit more effectively in their favor. If Death Awaits continues this kind of objective stranglehold, has those big comebacks. They still have good teamfight capabilities, but if you allow yourself to fall too far behind, having a good teamfight on paper, it doesn't go very well.
It's true, but it's also about, can the other team close it out? A good seedling secure. Now a full fight here in the river.
Marky says hello, and the Tesla Dome opens up a spot of loss. The first one out of this fight. Denim tries to go in, and he's got nowhere to go. Horde simply riplashes him away, and the crew find themselves stumbling through another fight. 0-7, nothing to their name.
You're done.
They're trying to facilitate Denim. They know that this Yurei, as soon as she gets to 2-3 items, going to be a massive threat. So if you can secure the seedling and get out, that's great. If you secure the seedling and die, maybe not so much. So Death Awaits able to get some exit frags off of that one. That's great. And they're resettling the lane, even doing better than that. They find a kill in the duo.
It just keeps on rolling. At some point, it really feels like the crew just need to say, let's slow our roll down, give up a couple of security objectives, all right? Not finding good success. Denim's being invaded. Does have to find a way out. Has the dash, and he's good to go. There's just no space for Denim to kind of come online with his Yurei pick. And it's kind of the downside of going this assassin style rather than the bulkier CC machine that Marky has, where you can kind of go in, and if things aren't working out, you've got enough HP to walk yourself on out of it, maybe throw a rock if you really need the extra help. But Denim, once he's in, it's pretty much do or die.
Yeah, you gotta just dash and burst, and it's about who you're dashing and who you're bursting. This duo lane is really hard to gank because the Warden's so tanky. If you dash him, he's like, okay, whatever. Then he might skewer you or silence you, and that's not good. And the Skylar can just fly away. So very challenging in the mid lane. The quick blink on phase. Okay, if you jump on me, I'll jump away, or I'll flash you, and then you miss your anima burst. You don't get your heal off. That's really tough. And then on the other side, Boris is really the only one you can go for, and he has been pushed up in lane, so that seems like a fine way to go, but Steel is not the best at following up with your damage, right? He might put in one stun, but you have to do the whole rest of the work, right? And if you don't have enough damage from your items, your ability points, then you won't find a kill there either. So very challenging here for Denim, but he was challenged in that first match, and they still got it done. So we'll see how he scales into this game. Remember, we're looking for that 2 to 3 item mark before he's really making an impact.
As we saw in game 1, all it takes is one good fight to kind of turn things around. They can be down. Heck, they had a bigger kill differential than this in game 1, where it was like 7-17. And they were still able to find that win. Now with the Fang Tooth up on the board, crew, another question posed to them. Do we move in? Do we look to contest? Denim is thinking yes. Marky does not agree with that very much. Got the backup coming in. To get out of dodge. Not gonna find the skewer on that one, which means it's a big fight that just opened up. Tesla Dome shreds some health bars. You got the weight on the back foot. Horde not looking healthy for this one. Turn the damage back around. Mento finds a couple targets. Not gonna do enough damage just yet. Psychic Lance does find a root, but there's no backup for it. Denim, actually all the way in, has to go right back out. Oh my goodness.
And this is where you got to disengage, right? You used all your abilities. Everyone's kind of like, what do we do? What do we do? But okay, maybe not. Pop. He jumps right in, finds an elimination. They're spotted. He goes down, and there it is. The re-aggression from the side of the Dusk team. They get a double kill for their troubles. They're rolling into the Fang.
And it's just a death machine that comes through. It's a conveyor belt. You find one, let's go ahead and roll into the next kill right off of that. A second Fang Tooth for their game, and the crew have to sit in base once again, fighting 0 kills in that entire exchange.
And it started off, it seemed like it started off pretty rough. Denim, he was caught out. They were like, CC, he was able to dash, but it was a bait. He brought everybody into that choke point. The Tesla Dome came down. They had the damage, but they didn't find any eliminations. Where's that final shot there from the Revenant, right? Where's that maybe doesn't have Vank online or missed the 4th shot, whatever it is. You needed to find an elimination. Then the ebb and flow came through. Then the with Death Awaits was able to back off, lead them down a choke, and then re-aggress off the back of that hypercharge from the Skylar. She has Plasma Blade online at the very least, and doing a ton of damage. And then they were able to shred at least 2 and roll them in the bank. So a good kind of tug of war, ebb and flow in those choke points there. We see another seedling taken. Marky, he was under pressure there, but he'll bounce right out.
Oh my goodness, Rip Flash and Skewer gonna lock him down. Oh, big heal comes through just in time to get right back out of dodge. Gets dropped, now spotted, looking at Pop Hero. Can they find return kills on this? They return, but it's gonna be the first one. It looks like they're able to find too much, and this is the thing about the Crew's draft is that they just don't seem to have enough damage baked in to lock down some of these kills.
Yeah, and it's because the Yuri and the Rev don't have their items online just yet. Here is the Eclipse, though. However, they're looking to re-engage.
Pull Candy right back in, surrounded by 3. There's nowhere to go. You will be sent back home in a body bag, my friend. Blue sky looking awfully dark.
Oof, and yeah, that blue is also looking like a goose egg. That 0 kill mark at the 15-minute timer. Pretty rough. Now the Shaper is available. Fortunately, spawned on the other side of the map. You know, it's a random, not randomly generated, but wherever the last seedling was in terms of the opposite number. So, yeah, opposite side. So, fortunate for them, because otherwise they would have taken that prime and gone right into the seedling. That would have been in the double whammy. They could not stave off right at this point. So, this is what I want to see from Death Awaits. They took a good fight, found a good pick, found an objective. Now, with that objective power, what do you do? How do you choke out the map a little more? Do you take a tower? Do you take some camps? That is what I want to see. Play a little bit aggressive right now.
Yeah, you know, right now I'm kind of just glad that we put money down on this one. My bet's looking good as it is. Death Awaits in a strong position. They just have to make sure they leverage it, right? Because that is where they stumbled in game number 1. Now they're looking pretty good, moving from objective to objective here in number 2. Very close and closer to the Fangtooth and the Primals and the World Shapers. That's where the big questions are going to start to come in. And right now the biggest question is, what in the world can you do to slow this lead down? Hero and King Complexity looking at Candy, but he's going to keep his life for now. The eyes back around. Denim, he did the back, finds a big Soul Storm. He's already half health. Can he finish these kills off? Now he's come through, and the Shield Slam doesn't connect. The Boris Bash takes away in safety. Angle is here to help out as well. Psychic Lance locks down Denim, and he's nowhere out. Pop Hero with phase double kill. Hey, didn't somebody say something about that earlier?
Almost 3 more to go before I eat my piece of paper, friend. But I love that rotation there from Pop. So shifty, able to use the blink, get it back online, locking people down with the Lance. An unfortunate miss there on that shield slam, but the Ure, you could see the power, was able to get the Boris really low, just missed that one anima burst. I always call it anime burst and got flamed for it. So the anima burst would have healed them up, and they have the Nightfall as well, which gives them an extra ability healing. So would have stayed in the fight a little bit more, but dang, so close there from the crew. You asked, what do they need to do to get back in? And it's win some of those tinier engagements, hit some of those abilities, to make sure that gets done. But now the pressure is on them. They're mid-tier 1. That's the next target on the line.
No, Philly, you might be getting flamed from it, but if you look at Yure's design and like her animations, Anime Burst isn't that far off. Let's be real here.
Genesis by Kerastaz. Genesis. Kerastaz.
New customers bet $5 and get $300 in bonus bets if you win.
Horsemen, return the stolen Butterfingers and we'll return your lost head.
Never.
Whoa.
Darn it. One last bite?
Nope. No one lays a finger on your Butterfinger, ever.
Try new Marshmallow Butterfinger.
You know, they say that AI is the future, but Apartments.com has been using apartmental intelligence for many years with Carl here. Describe your perfect apartment because Carl is listening.
2-bed, 2-bath, AC.
Okay.
A barbecue pit, maybe a microwave on top of the stove. A pool. Did I say a pool?
Oh, somebody's going to park. Think of it. Think of it.
That's it. That's exactly what I wanted.
Apartments.com, a place to find a place. Oh.
Oh, hi. I'm just not good at this.
Who's your good boys?
Your turn.
Who's a good boy?
I think I'm supposed to give you this? I think he's the one.
I kind of like it, okay? I think I might just start calling it Anime Burst, because it's kind of dope, all right? I'm just saying.
You're allowed to do that.
Thanks, man.
Wait's also allowed to start up this Shaper. Need to look to bring on the Cataclysm. World shift of the game. Not be able to do much here, but oh my god, the Whiplash connects right to the fog wall. Find the kill just yet, but it does break open this fight. I say that. Everybody's coming on board. Boris Batch over the wall, but on the opposite side of the fight now cannot help out his team. That's the way to rolling, but Bengal Mac finds the big shutdown they're looking for. The dual lane is down for Death Awaits. This might be the fight they need. Hero is still throwing the damage out. Even Complexity gets pulled away from danger. Candy now push on forward. Almighty gets dropped. Marky is the next target. Psychic Lance doing a lot of work here. It's unbelievable, but Bengal Mac is having none of it. Bring this jungler to heal. What's this mid lane are doing all the way back here? Hold of Candy's health bar, drops it down, and Denim is too low to keep this one going, but somehow does not fall, and Bengal puts him down.
Have a hat, my friend, and he gets a double kill off the explosion. What the heck, Bengal Mac? What was wild from the gadget player. The poke master is this hero, just pelting people from the backline with those abilities. Full health wasn't even touched in that engagement. In Complexity, I'm looking at you, homie. You took the wrong guy out of the fight, went for the steal instead of the folks in the backline. You want to go for the Rev, you want to go for the gadget. That is why that fight fell apart for him. It was such a good engage there from Undead. They're looking at the Fang, though. I don't know if they'll be able to steal it.
So is here with damage, but so is Almighty. Comes back from the grave and spotted. Goes right back into the grave. Still left in the back of this hit means Denim has easy pickings. Whiplash gonna pull forward and lock him down with the skewer. Now Almighty finds himself all by himself.
No way.
And Marky is back to help secure the Fangtooth. Billy, what just happened?
The captain putting the team on his back, though. That's what happened, man. A double connection, Whiplash into the skewer for the Richter. Just facilitating the Scholar to do the damage. Oh my word, that was, I can't believe what I just saw there. That was crazy work from them to just have the bravery to come back in and say, we can take this, we can do it. And that's off the call of Undead, and he's making the call to take the big prime now.
This is so strange, you know, Death Awaits, starts up the World Shaper. Okay, let's go ahead and start the fight. Oh no, we've lost the fight. Let's take the Fangtooth. No, you lose the fight now, and Death Awaits gets the Fangtooth. All back to back to back. Now it leads to Death Awaits having a very solid position with that Orb Prime. Something they were lacking in Game 1. They didn't have the ability to push these towers down. But the dichotomy of the fight changes from jungle to lane here, right? In the jungle, you've got a lot of places you can hide. You can find a lot of flanks. The lane itself, it's a big open space. I feel that does favor the crew a little bit more than it does those jungle fights.
Try this on.
Yeah, yes and no. I mean, because then you can layer your ultimates, but then you kind of want them in those tight corridors to layer them even more effectively. And then Death Awaits, yeah, you kind of want to be in those tight corridors as well, so you can get those Whiplashes and the boulders in. It's easier to connect those abilities. So yeah, both of these teams not really privy to fighting in the lanes. They want to take their guerrilla warfare, so to speak, in these areas. But I do want to talk about that last fight a little bit more. It extended so long. Pop Hero and the Rampage extended so long that the other timers were able to come back, and then they were able to regress upon the Fangtooth. There's that mid tower down, the Hypercharge doing so much work. Now those extra spots unlocked from the World Shift, and finally Complexity gets on the board.
Finally, grabs Spotted Lost and just drags him straight to hell on that one. Yeah. Here too. Not to be able to push up too much further than this. Death awaits and feel their territory growing. Take a look at this map. Inhibitors are exposed on every single lane for the crew. Their line has shrunk quite a lot. The minions pushing on forward. Not a lot to do on this.
Rampage is split pushing. You don't see that every day. Just rumbling like Donkey Kong. There's a Soul Storm there trying to take him down, but he's feeling big. He's got a rock to throw as well. Now the reinforcements come. Now the Fishman, he is on the back foot. Might go down off of this, but it's a good 4-1 split. We saw that in the first game from the crew. Now
oh my goodness.
Death awaits the rumble. It's the turnaround. Almighty.
Marky says, all right, bet you want to take this 1v1. It doesn't go your way, my friend. Pull is good, but is it good enough to put Marky back where he came from? Yes, sir. Spotted. Gets the kill credit, but that's a 1-for-1 that's not in your favor. You never want to lose your ADC like that.
Especially when you need to defend the base and you know you're being aggressed upon. The Fishman's okay with going down. There's no objectives on the board, right? No Prime, no Fang. Not even a Shaper is sniffing at anything here in Sanctuary. But a good defense from the side of the crew. Yes, they took some damage on their inhibitors, but they didn't lose anything more than that. So they're breathing a sigh of relief, and it's about Denim. He doesn't have that third item online just yet. And that's where I need him to be so he can get that burst damage unlocked.
That's actually crazy. We are 24 minutes in. We're still struggling to get that third item online. You can see how limited Denim has kind of been in his effectiveness.
Seek and destroy.
Really that he's like doing bad. It's just that he doesn't have the opportunities that they really need
Try
to get active on these fights. He's been pushed out and he tries to win, walk down. Frankly, Undead Horde has been doing massive amounts of work in preventing Denim from really getting active here.
Absolutely, and there it is. The Infernum is there for him, which is good. We're taking a look at the augments here. Nothing too out of the ordinary, but that augmented hat, which got buffed, you know, a patch or two ago, really helped Bangle out in that one engagement, getting the double off of that, which was sick. But yeah, I think everything pretty standard off the board. We do see a Shaper being killed here by the Dusk side. They have 3 Fang Teeth to their name. They're feeling buffed up with the Skull and Crossbones. Now the Seedlings have entered the fray. They're going to be looking to put the pressure on.
13 kills separate these two teams. Crew have to dig deep and figure out what's been going wrong. And oh my goodness almighty, this is not where you want to be. This is a CC chase that is not going to go well for you. Does throw him into the Shadow Realm, takes the teleporter all the way over, but you found yourself some company in the way of Denim, run into the opposition. Can Death Awaits find a way out of this one? It looks like they're okay.
Yeah, I like this re-engage here from Pop and Marky. These are the two that are facilitating the squad. A nice Tesla Dome comes in, a Soul Storm to try to lock folks down, my friend, but it is Marky pummel him into the ground.
His health is just so high right now. Ooh. Candy tank up for his team, but he gets sent back the hard way. All this with Almighty having to reset back to the base means his team doesn't have the damage they need. Drop after drop comes through, and just the 2 backliners are left to defend 3 inhibitors and 1 core.
Now that, friend, I think we're going to a game number 3. This has all been Death Awaits. This combination, this Undead Horde is just doing work out here. But this duo of the Fishman and the FaZe, right? They are working in sync. The pop star and the backup dancer just doing so much to bully people out. Almighty had no chance in that fight. He's on the other side of the map, had to go back to base. So it was a 4v5 effectively, and that's your main damage dealer out of the fray. So a great, even though they didn't get the pick, they did enough to get the job done. Now they're taking the inhib.
Take the inhibitors down, and Almighty wisely decides, I'm not going to step up to that. We cannot defend it. Bengal off the board for 13 more seconds. Maybe Death Awaits taking that step back. Say, let's not push our luck here. We don't need to try to force this. The base is broken. We can take our steps over to this Orb Prime, buff ourselves up, and make sure that the next time we arrive, that's when the core is really good.
It's going to be tough to defend. I mean, Bangle's going to have to do everything in his arsenal to keep the creeps out of the base. But for now, the call is to potentially contest here. We got another fight on our hands.
Fight, or doesn't quite land the whiplash he's looking for. Wins his way forward the hard way. Top Eclipse comes through to turn off the lights, but it's not going to stop Tax. He candy from going down. Don't open. Just gonna separate the health bars out, and all of a sudden, Almighty's dropped as well. This is a terrible look now for the crew. The options are limited. Do we allow these health bars to refill? Yes.
They have to. They expended the Tesla Dome in that fight to kind of cover the retreat, so to speak. And that's your main tool in these pit engagements. You just want to drop the Tesla Dome right on top of people, shred the armor, and then, you know, find the damage after that. So without that tool, gotta give this one up. Now, the Death Await squad, they are double bubble buffed, my friend. It's about how can they close this one out. They have full map control. You can see in the opposite team jungle, they're taking all the camps away from Denim. It's about, okay, we need to get these final inhibitors down. They're looking for this one on the offlane side. The creeps are with them.
Seek and destroy.
With them. Creeps are in camps as well. Feeling much stronger than your usual wave would. The crew, all they can really do is have Bengal back sit back here.
This on.
Just throw out some abilities and try to continue these waves as best as possible. You can't take those steps forward, because if you do, you put yourself in way too much danger.
Happy hunting.
The wave, trying to go for the core.
The alarms are blaring here, my friend, but they're missing the Boris. The Boris isn't here to take a key member out of the fight, but maybe they're just focusing on the core. Only time will tell. Marky, he takes the brunt of that damage. The fight now in earnest.
Here comes the Boris, and Complexity is in the area. Skewer comes through and hits two of them. Marky jumps on out, but the crew still fighting for their lives. Armento finds a laser down onto Blue Candy, and it's gonna go in the way of Armento on that one. Trey kill for kill, 3 for 1. You don't have the numbers. Do you have the defense? You still got Bengal. You still got the gadget. Can it be enough? Core now 50%. The health bars still looking rough, and Denim gets dropped down as well. Double kill for Pop Hero. Boulder connects and keeps Bengal out of the fight, and the core instantly.
We're going to a game number 3, ladies and gentlemen. We knew this was gonna be a heater, and these players are giving it to us here at the NPL. I have to say, my MVP of that match is Pop Hero, dude. This phase, it worked. Being able to facilitate that rampage, get him that extra buffs for his rumble, getting the lances in to lock people down, and then the CC chain to follow. No can defend, friend. And they did just that. A great game in this prime division. Oh man, this is a good one.
All right, chat, I'm gonna need you guys to clip what he just said. Go back earlier into the game, clip that one as well, and we'll compare them for later. Shout out to Undead Horde as well, throwing out the Riplash, connected on the Bengal. Doesn't do anything for him, but hey, you pumped your numbers up there a little bit. It's such an unconventional composition, and frankly, Philly, I struggle to figure out exactly where things went wrong for the crew in their approach to this fight. Maybe it was just having Candy on this Steel who couldn't really do anything in that off lane and allowed too much of Incomplexity and Marky to kind of rotate around. I don't know.
I think it's a matter of the timings, right? In MOBAs, it's all about when do characters get to their strongest. That's what we call timing. Revenant's timing is very late into the game, and I think Almighty, he found it there right at the end. You saw him, he did kind of burst down in complexity as he was late to the fight, kind of found a couple of shots, but at that point it was too late. The base was ransacked, everything was broken, and they couldn't protect him well enough to do what he needed to do. So the Revenant pick for me, I think fell a little bit flat.
New customers bet $5 and get $300 in bonus bets if you win.
Horsemen, return the stolen Butterfingers and we'll return your lost head. Never!
Whoa. Darn it. One last bite?
You? No one lays a finger on your Butterfinger, ever.
Try new Marshmallow Butterfinger.
You know, they say that AI is the future, but Apartments.com has been using apartmental intelligence for many years with Carl here. Describe your perfect apartment because Carl is listening.
2-bed, 2-bath, AC.
Okay.
A barbecue pit, maybe a microwave on top of the stove. A pool. Did I say a pool?
Oh, somebody's going to park. Think of it. Think of it.
That's it. That's exactly what I wanted.
Apartments.com, a place to find a place. Oh.
I think if they had somebody that their timing's a little bit sooner could have helped them. Denham, we talked about him. I mean, he's a great player, fantastic lad, great photographer, but Ure, he couldn't get any kills. I think he had like 0 kills at the end of that one because he couldn't facilitate in the lanes, which was what made it really tough. On the flip side for Death Awaits, I feel like the Boris, they probably could have picked a different offlane or maybe even closed the game out earlier. Like the Boris for me just kind of didn't really know what the role was for him, but they made it work in some regard. But the composition was great. Just maybe change that Boris up. It could be even A tier at that point. So I don't know. Great game overall, my friend. I'm excited to see what's next.
Well, we'll get to that in time, Philly. But for now, we're going to take a quick break and be right back. Welcome back, folks. I hope you didn't miss us too much, because it was not that long of a break. Still spooky and still Philly here with you guys. Philly, we're now in a tied game state. Week number 2, already seeing a 3-game banger. And we've seen a few of these so far.
A little birdie just told us during the break that this is not out of the ordinary here for Death Awaits. In their first game against Control Alt, they actually went down the first game, and then they reverse swept and won the next 2, and that was off of the back of Pop, just popping off in those games. So this is, maybe you come to expect this. Maybe this is going to be their MO, just kind of feeling the teams out in game number 1 and then really turning it on over the next 2. The crew, though, these are hardy guys. These guys play all the time. They will bounce back from this for sure. So it's anybody's game here going into number 3.
It's so funny too, right? Because Death Awaits in their week 1 took their game 1 loss, come back, beautiful 2 next wins.
Mm-hmm.
Thing is, it's the same for the crew.
Yeah.
They lose their game 1, come back strong, and it's Bengal Mac who leads a lot of the aggression in finding those next 2 wins for them. So these teams very similar in their stories here, but in play style, man, like they could not be further apart.
Oh man, yeah, completely different mentalities from these squads. I do want to highlight the impact score here, my friend. So you saw that 377 and 397. This is a special metric created by the commissioner of the league, OG Ape, about how he calculates the performances of each of these players. And there's a number of different metrics for it. It's like words killed and assists you've gotten and eliminations and things like that. So these two very evenly matched in terms of that impact score. The max is 100. These two kind of approaching it there, but it makes sense why we're going to game number 3 with how close these teams are.
Absolutely. And, shout out to OG Ape.
Yeah.
Multi-function king. He's also our observer today, as well as our production. So, please give thank you to him. But Philly.
Yeah.
We've seen 2 games. We've got a third one in front of us. We've seen drafts from 2 games. We have a third one coming up for us here as well. What are you expecting? Any big changes into Game 3's draft? Do we expect to see maybe some different bans coming through?
No, I think the bans will probably be the same. What I am looking for, though, is facilitate Denim. Poor guy, he's been playing almost like a PvE in the jungle there. It's just like they haven't been setting up the lanes to allow him to snowball or get ahead in any way. Find an objective that he can take easily without being scared about it. So I would really like them to draft around Denim a little more and get him into this game. I know Candy is probably going to just stay on this steal. Okay, that's fine. Let's find a jungler that can help. Is it a Chimera? Is it a Fang Mao? Is it something that is going to get that unlocked, that partnership, right? So, I don't know. I hope that's the adjustment that they make, but we'll see.
And I think a big thing here is, as well, the crew does not have Moo in the draft right now to kind of switch things around, because if you look at jungle picks, he's the one who goes for those rampages, those chimeras, whereas Denim is very much more orientated toward the bursty assassin style.
Right.
And so right now it doesn't feel like you have the ability to make those changes as you typically would, because you don't have the typical person that can bring those picks out for you. So the crew really needs to kind of lock in and figure out what they need to do to make sure Denim is able to get a little bit more active here and find some success, hopefully a little bit earlier on.
For sure. I also want to talk about, okay, what does Death Awaits do? They now have the momentum on their side. Do they go with another wacky composition? Yeah, how do they run it back? And once again, I think it's off the partnership of Pop and Marky. Those two have been doing extremely well. As we said, those are the 2 most important positions now here in the 1.8 patch, because they have access to all of those objectives that have been added. So those two, that partnership that they've created is like the center and the quarterback in football or whatever, right? Those two have to be in sync to get their jobs done. And so, okay, what do they do to facilitate that? Do we see the phase again? Do we see something pretty crazy? I know that the Pop Heroes played Terra a lot recently. Do they mix him up and toss him somewhere else and then put somebody else in mid? I don't know. There's so many combinations that Death Awaits can do, and that's the scary part.
Well, let's find out for ourselves here. Let's hop into the draft. Let's see what we've got coming up for us. Wow, Philly, look, there it is. Whoa, our draft. I believe we have the size correct on this one this time. And actually, it's actually a very strange look, because I'm looking at Death Awaits draft right now. And oh wait, no, okay, I'm seeing the weird parts. I was like, okay, we've got Arena, that's obviously mid lane. Skylar, Richter, we got a very duo lane. What's going on with the Kwang and the Fae? Is this Arena solo?
Oh, no. I know In Complexity plays Rena mid and also has played it in the off lane. So we alluded to it at the beginning of this series. Oh, man, are we going to see it again? Or going to see it, rather, in the first... I think so, buddy, because I think Undead Horde was doing so well on that Richter. He's probably like, guys, I got the hot hand. Just let me run it. And they're like, okay, coach, you got it. And then the Skylar was just unstoppable, right? They couldn't get to her. She was doing the damage, so why change that? Make the other team play into us. So, very interesting there, but it's this Fae pick. Just rather say a normal pick for the mid lane here in Pop. So we'll see what they do with that. I want to talk about the crew here on this side. the Countess. That is going to be for Denim, another assassin-style character. Muse plays this one as well. Like you mentioned, had he been subbed in, probably would have done the same thing. It's this Shinbi, though. Is this the Shinbi offlane? Is Candy going to play his actual role in support on this steal? Or is he going to play Shinbi now? That's the question.
I think we're going to see a Shinbi and the offlane. And Countess is probably going to go jungle. I think I like that a lot, too. And maybe I'm just saying that I think we'll see these things because I like those things. But it allows a little bit more pressure on the map, right? Shinbi can threaten these towers, can split push if need be, but you can also make those rotations and be an active participant in these fights a little bit more than the Steel was. You can still have the Steel to help initiate and peel, and I think Steel Kira is actually a pretty solid duo lane if you're looking to get some kills going.
Sure.
I don't hate this from the crew because now Countess also has a lot of survivability in those fights as well. So if you need to, you can sustain. You can also grab this Skylar and rip her out of the sky.
Yeah, I agree with that. It's the Shinbi actually really throws a wrench in here, my friend. Now you're making me think about it, because do you want to put Shinbi into Rena in the offlane? Probably not. So maybe you go Kwang offlane, Richter jungle, put Rena in support, and then put the Faye in the mid lane. So that would be what I would do, but I mean, these players are going to play what they're most comfortable on, and if you're comfortable playing Rena offlane, then you've probably faced a Shinbi a time or two in your day. You're going to have to learn how to make it work here. Okay, our big question, friend, was, did they facilitate Denim? Are these lanes going to be set up to help him succeed? I don't think so.
I think there's a little bit more potential in this duo lane now, right? Because you got the big Steel over here. You've got the CC. You can have a way to initiate those fights. And sure, it might be hard to bring Skylar down from the sky with what you have right now, but you got another target, right? You can turn and you can look at this Richter and try to punish him early. If you do get on him early in the game, he doesn't have tank stats built up. He can still die.
Right.
And that might just be your way of getting Denim active and engaged in this fight, so he can then start looking at these squishier targets later on in the game.
Yeah, but the shock therapy, the silence is so scary when you're the Countess, because you shadow slip in, you get silenced, and you can't shadow slip out, and you're like, what do I do? So, you know, you still have to be wary diving in.
You fight.
Okay, fair enough.
These dang Countesses.
True. I'm risk adverse. We've said this before, folks. I'm a little scaredy cat sometimes with these players, but that's why I'm not the professional, right? Like, you know, you have to have that courage. You have to have that I'm the best kind of mentality when you are playing in these games, because that is, you can't play scared. If you play scared, you're not going to get that last hit and live with that last sliver of health and win the game for your squad kind of deal. So yeah, you gotta full send it, and I think the Kira Steel is definitely a full send kind of thing. I'm a support player, and when I play Steel, I ask my carry, I'm like, do you want me to play aggressive? Because then I will just bull rush them, I'll slap them, I'll be in that front line, I'll take that hits, but I gotta know that you're gonna back me up. So these two, they have to be in sync with those kind of aggressive movements in that dual lane, especially knowing that they're going against this Richter who can reposition you at a moment's notice. So they might wait for that Riplash to come through, dodge it, bull rush in, and that's when they're gonna like use the Shadow Glide and just go for the full send attack. So very interesting there. I'm still curious about this offlane though, my friend. This Shinbi Rena, I feel like the Shinbi is just gonna run over this Rena here.
Well, there's one thing I've learned about Shinbi, it's that she cannot like aim up. So if you as Rena wait for it to get to you and just say, haha, I'm in the air now, what is Shinbi gonna do?
She can dodge it, right? She's got the rushing beat, so you dodge it.
No, you just gotta aim better. Don't let her dodge.
Fair. You know what? Use your mouse and click the heads that you need to click. Spooky, I'm hearing in my head that the game is ready.
Game is ready, and so are we. So let's go down to Sanctuary and see what we've got in store for us here. One more game, one more pitched battle between these two teams. All comes down to this, Philly. It's basically a best of one situation.
And those are my favorite kind of games, you know that. And also, I'm going to start calling you Spooky Bars with those rhymes you're putting out here, Fred. Only one of these teams will come out on top and have their score unblemished, still remain undefeated here in the NPL, where you put everything on the line. The other team will go down to 1-1. Everything. And it's spooky. On the East Coast for us, it is late. It is 11 o'clock. Do you have the mental, the endurance, the focus to lock in and play one more game?
Really? You and I.
Yeah.
You and I have gone well past this point, as you well know. I think we've seen teams go past this point as well. They've got at least a little bit more fire, especially when you're playing for undefeated status, right? Sure, it's only League 2, but being able to say we are undefeated in the league, that means something, right? That's a little bit of an ego boost, and no one wants to give that up lightly. I think both these teams are going to find they've got a lot more fire than either of them would have given themselves credit for.
For sure. And the way that OG8 puts out these hype videos and these announcements of how he, is talking about these players in the league, I mean, I can only imagine what kind of statement he will say for the undefeated squads coming out of this one. Definitely what you want to wake up to on Friday morning for sure.
That's right.
All right, let's see. What are we seeing? It's a Shimby jungle, my guy. Holy smokes.
Well, that's not exactly what we had, expected.
No.
So let's talk about the off lane first, right?
Okay.
Because I like it better. Candy now on this Countess. Going up against this Rena. How do you feel about that matchup? I feel like Countess has a little bit more sustain, pretty good poke. What are your thoughts here?
Yeah, I mean, this matchup I actually like. This is fine because both of these are actually also mid laners. So they're just playing the mid lane game, just in a longer, hillier lane.
So the last time you saw a Countess mid?
Yeah, I'm surprised I haven't removed her from that page on the website or in the game. Yeah, good point. However, she still is a mage. She still can put in that damage. The thing is that it's going to take a little while for her to ramp up. So Rena will have her, at least in that early game, if she can get a good gank off, right? Especially because she's being forced under tower. Get an item online, maybe a Tainted Scepter or something like that. She'll be able to turn it around, right? You'll get on top, dodge a stupor, get on top of Rena, and then do the damage. We'll see. She's got the shielding augment, I believe that is there as we're taking a look at those. But I think as the game goes on, there's a tight window for the Countess to win it out. It'll be about right when we hit the mid game, but then as the game goes later, it will be the Rena that will scale as she gets all those items.
Scale up your Whiplash Connect early on. A Mento brought into range. Might have been able to weasel his way on out of that one. Mento doesn't quite have the damage online that he's looking just yet, but that's a good start to your dual lane. Kind of been the story of pretty much the entire match so far. Mento and Horde here have been doing a fantastic job of holding this pressure on the dual lane. And yes, I am avoiding talking about Shinbi.
We don't talk about Shimby. That'll be our new song. Yeah. So Shimby, very interesting. I would like to see.
I just said.
I know. But I'll talk about it. Shimby, I'll be curious to see what augment. It'll probably be the one that allows her to, scale with the ability haste that she's taking her camps around. Yeah, it looks like that is the one. That's it. Thank you very much, OG8. So, Denim is gonna try to be scaling throughout this game. Doesn't really have a lot of gank ability. Shimby is sort of like a Greystone in the fact that when they go to lane, the lane partner needs to be the one that sets it up. You're like, hey, I'll be there in 2 seconds, get ready to stun. They have to stun, then you have to follow up with the damage, as they're seeing here now. Denim looking, but not fighting on that one. So Denim gonna try to take some of these camps and really scale throughout this one, but under pressure now.
To wait here a little bit. The damage comes through. Bengal is looking as well. Seedling still alive for the time being as Marky wants to wrap things up here. Try to get it for death away. Comes on through. Denim actually gets an early start here. Pick up the first blood. Outside looks for a little bit more. Still on that Seedling, incredibly low. Has to blink out, but does get the Seedling before his time is up.
Wow, he was on death's door. I don't know how he stayed that long. Expended the hunt to claim it. I believe that means they got. Oh no, the other seeding lane.
customers bet $5 and get $300 in bonus bets if you win.
At Apartments.com, we go above and beyond to make renting easier on every single level. On a neighborhood level, unit level, down to the cellular level. Hey, little guy, Apartments.com, the place, to find a place.
With DoorDash Streaks, you rack up weekly discounts, so you win every week. But so much winning energy can be a lot. Win every week with DoorDash Streaks. Opt in, order every Saturday, build the savings.
When you play hard, you need your eyes to keep up. Try Blink. The only eye drop of its kind with a unique 3-in-1 extended relief formula to get your eyes back in the game.
Blink. I have created mankind's most advanced AI soldier.
You think you're in control of this? You're not.
I came here from the digital world, and they are coming to destroy yours.
Hang on!
Tron Ares, rated PG-13. Get tickets now.
Is still alive. Okay, so they protect that one. But wow, what a fight. Once again, Bengal Mac denied the first blood, brother. You got a strike over here. But yeah, what an engagement. And this is what these neutral objectives do. They pull. It's like magnets. They pull everybody in and create some of these early engagements. I'm very excited for PCC EU this weekend, Spooky, to see how the EU team fare. Because NA, we're always willing to fight, right? Like, we'll just go like, okay, give us something else to fight around. Let's do it. EU, they're going to be a little bit more tactful about it. I'll be curious to see how those teams go as the meta evolves. But I love that take there. Denim getting aggressive. That's what we want him to see. He's going to be scaling now.
I've got my eyes still on Marky over here. He's a little bit quieter in this third game than he was in the first two, right? Denim's been able to take a little bit more of a tactical step forward. Gets the kill onto Marky, who hasn't made patient. He did go to the side, so maybe I'll shut him out on that. We saw him on the right side, we saw him in mid lane, as well. Looking for a fight with Denim. Top hero in the area as well. Shouldn't be too much more there. Bengal's got the backup he needs. So these teams will take their steps back. The Seedlings go 1-1. Neither team get a real advantage on that one. My mind goes back to where we constantly see a lot of pressure in favor of Death Awaits. And that just sets up very well for these Fang teams. You know,
It's going to be tough. There's no shield slam online here. The Fang Tooth is also getting into the fray, but it will be Pop who pops down the Kira, eliminates the almighty god, and now the people are tumbling here in the pit, Spooky.
This fight is bloody and brutal. Denim getting low, and Horde pulls him back in, says, you're not going to leave. Finally trades back 1-4-2 here. Denim's still alive, and Bengal takes this guy still alive somehow. Got the damage to put Horde down. So we've avoided the zombie apocalypse. Top hero flutters away on wings of fairy dust. Now, no one gets the Fang Tooth. Both teams, I don't think, really too happy with the way that one went.
No, that was just like, everybody press all the buttons as fast as they can. Oh my gosh, let's see who comes out on top. I mean, normally when you go for an neutral objective, you want to make sure you have a pick. Do you have a pick on the enemy jungler? Do you know they're on the opposite side of the map? You can't get there in time. Do you have a pick on the enemy carry, right? You need to set up the win condition in order to take that fight clean. I think, once again, that was Death Awaits being a little bit too aggressive on their Fang call. That cost them game number 1. I don't want that to cost them game number 3 when everything is on the line. They have to be a little bit more disciplined with that. Find the pick first. Kills go either way. It's still closely knotted up here, friend.
Does it count as irony if game 1 is lost by not going for Primal, and then game 3 is lost by trying to jump the gun on a Primal?
I'm sure there's some literary device that our simple minds cannot understand, but I'll just chalk it up to, they're still week 2. They're still learning how to play together, who's making the shots, who's calling them, etc. That time, just not the best one. They didn't lose too much, right? No tower plates are gone or anything. Just a few kills going either way.
And frankly, it's already a better look in favor of the Dukes, right?
Sure. Yeah.
They've got like they lead in kills right now. Although Death Wade's trying to turn that first round, as Spotted Lost gets another whiplash to the face. Too tanky to go down just yet. So far, the crew have been a lot more successful in their fight. Just trying to get another one going. Denim bringing a lot of damage out. All killed, not going to find the kill. Pop Hero, good reset, but he's sticking around.
Very interesting from him. I mean, he does have a fly trap online, so he can just throw it over this Fangtooth and maybe allow his jungler to jump in there. He does do just that. Marky's going in for the steal. He doesn't get it secured by the crew.
He does find his way back out. Nobody going to chase him over the wall. Crew find success in the path that led them to success in game number 1. Prioritize your Fang teeth. Make sure to give some objective. Hey, what's happening to Marky over there? Oh my god! Candy! No, he gets tethered down! Blink is good, though. He finds his way out of the tower. Maybe a little too aggressive.
Yeah, just a speck there, but I like the gall on that. Now it's the Rena who's pushed up a little bit far, about to get ganked.
Angle. Angle here. But have a lot of it. Gets hit with the stupor. Back down.
Nice.
Some landmine. Candy has made a mistake. Let's guys and make it rain. Look for the lockdown with the blink. Away. And you find the last shot. The R2000 doesn't have the damage and all of that. Go back for a bit. At the end of the day, watch him walk away.
Bro, you hit 2 rhymes in that sequence there, dude. You're out of control tonight, Spooky Mars. Bangle with the angle. Oh my gosh, I'm using that. So many ultimate, the Make It Rain and the Feast expended. But on the flip side, the Rena, no blink and no Abyssal Rifts, used 2 escape tools to keep her life. But that pressure, I mean, she's okay with doing that because you trade a tier 1 tower. That Countess then has to stay in lane of war, so that way you don't get pushed that second one. So I like the sacrifice there. Doesn't get fully punished for it. Denim, though, so aggressive here on this Shinbi. I'm glad they're unlocking him here in this one.
Gets tethered, but he's going to be all right for now. Then Marky turns attention over to Candy and Denim, bringing so much damage out, and Bangle just puts the gravy on top. You don't need to do it all yourself, and you got to do it for you. 1 for 1, and by that I mean each of the crew get a kill on that one. Now looking back forward, Steven's one taken. Denim gets to invade. Looking beautiful for the crew now. And you were talking about that tier 1 going down. Look at this tier 1 on the Death Await side. Completely untouched, has so many platings. And after that fight, crew would look to change it.
Yeah, they're going to be crashing this wave for sure. The blink, there was no blink, no Abyssal Rift there for Incomplexity. Don't go in. That's a tried and true save your friend syndrome. Marky was caught out. They were scouting out this mini prime. That happens to your jungler. Sometimes you just gotta let him go. Go back to your lane, protect some of those plates, get some of those farms, especially because I'm seeing, what, 3 Orb of Growths here in this game? The Faye's got one, the Shinbi's got one, the Countess has got one. I don't think I've seen so much growth since my garden the last summer, dude. This is 3 freaking Orbs of Growth. That's insane. From these players right now. But yeah, Incomplexity, a little bit more discipline from you next time, lad. Just let your player go. Sometimes you have to cut your losses here in the MOBA so you don't lose even more. But a good engage from the side of the crew. They pick up too easy, and they roll, I think, into the mini prime after that. So well done for that.
Yeah, me personally, I'm watching my teammates die every single day. Like, I see some fight happening over there. I'm like, that's not my problem. Then of course when I get ganked, I'm like, where's my jungler? F6. Right now, Crew definitely taking control of this game. Look at the way Denim is approaching every single situation. Yeah. Doesn't even know where everyone is. Oh no! Flash the bulldoze straight through, breaks it all apart. Fewer hits, both. That's not enough follow-up to help out. Bengal Matt comes in from off screen, says, hey guys, here's our missile barrage for you. Would you like to exit stage left? Yes, please.
And he has that augment that zooms him around when he is making it rain. So that was a Mach 10 hamster man going in there. That was a nice rifties to the skewer, but just not enough damage there yet. Something that's very interesting here is Marky with the near war boots. I get it, because you want to try to rotate around the map, make yourself a little bit tankier from a health perspective, but then you're limiting your damage output. So you're really relying on this, maybe the Rena in the off lane to be your your magical dealer along with the Fae, and you're just kind of being the tanky boy. So an interesting choice. I love to see people trying to mix things up, right? There's no one way to play the game. Let's just see if it works for them. Right now, Death Awaits. They're starting it up again. The Fang. This time they finish it.
This one, can they find their way out after the fact? Everybody collapsing on in, but Spotted Lost taken down first. Coming on through, a double kill for Incomplexity as the Abyssal Rift tears apart health bar after health bar. Not going down quietly, though. They've lost 2. The crew are still here for a fight, but Denim has nowhere to go. And Incomplexity, with 3, finds himself a triple kill. And Bengal Mac can only run for the hills. Riplash doesn't connect. It's a quadra. Oh my God!
Yeah, that was huge. I was waiting for you to make that call there, Frank, because I was counting it down. There was 1, there was 2, there was 3. A little known buff there is that they extended the kill timer for those quadra kills, those multi kills. So able to extend that fight long enough to make it happen. If it's on the back of that Abyssal Rift, that's their key ultimate in those pit engagements here. The Fairy, she's on the run. The Barrage finds them. Oh, it took a rocket to the face.
I'm sorry, that is so funny. Because Pop Hero just said, yeah, I get the river bug. And Echo Back just said, all right, fine, you want to play that game? Here's my ultimate. Oh, that is so petty.
That's Bangle. We'll be flaming you for that one. But he gets the single dingle over there, so he'll take that. And that will open up the Shaper because they've gotten a pick on the mid laner, a lot of that magic damage off the board. So they're heading over to this ugly face plant monster thing to take him down.
Hey, man, the Shaper works very hard with every single day. Marky Doodah doesn't seem to respect it. Has to be sent out of the area. The Shaper goes down quickly. Now the Cataclysm arrives. Meteors from the sky. Look at that. Beautiful. You know what?
Oh,
I want to call you out because last thing I didn't get to.
Yeah.
I could run this fight every single other caster. Yeah. And I don't think anyone else in 1,000 casters would just say the Burgundy Sky.
What, why not? What do you mean? Is not Burgundy Sky? Is it a red sky?
It is. It's just it's such a uniquely Philly thing to say.
Yeah, well, Burgundy's my favorite color, so I'll call it out as it
probably why.
But I love the drastic change that the Cataclysm brings to the battlefield. It just gives this haunting look to Sanctuary. You can really tell that Acheron and his demonic crew are here to stay. But let's see how these teams manifest those changes and use them to their advantage.
I don't know why Acheron's such a big deal. Like, we found the solution, just permaban him. Boom, he's gone. He can't even enter the area.
That is true. And for the folks at home, if you're maybe just tuning in, Acheron is banned until his first update, right? As soon as a new hero is released, they're usually a little bit overpowered to make people play them, make them understand the kit, that kind of thing. Make sure once they get tuned down, they'll be allowed back into the fray. Right now, though, the teams are grouping up here for the mid lane.
Seeing what happens when you release a weak hero. It doesn't look pretty.
No.
Grouping in the mid lane, gonna immediately disperse. Crew's still hanging around here. Just keep your eyes on those objective timers, right? Mini Prime is up on the board. That's something he's played for. Crew have themselves a lead, but after that last fight, this Rena, big problem. You can see everybody seems to respect that. Taking a rotation over, not gonna be able to catch him unawares because of Marky's position here. Mini Prime gonna be tough to take. Delayed on the rotation.
Smile.
Yeah, they're going for it, and I think they're willing to give this up, Death Awaits, because you can see the Skylar on the opposite side of the map is just split pushing there, getting that extra farm that they need. Okay, you get a mini prime. Okay, what are you going to do with it if all of your towers are pushed in, right?
Yeah.
So, it's a good trade, right? You get the mini prime, you embolden one of your characters, you get that gold on the board, but what are you giving up for it? Hopefully not a tier 2. Looks like the reinforcements have finally arrived, but it's taking some damage.
Some damage, but luckily still holding strong for now. That said, tier 1 on that left side for Death Awaits still stands through. Very limited on the space they have here. If they want to kind of mitigate the loss of that, they really got to push this way forward, take down that tier 1, and start making these minions travel a little bit further distances so your tier 2 isn't constantly in threat. Especially with this Fang team coming up now. Not a lot of time to go for it.
This is going to be a bloodbath, friend. All of the ultimates are on the board. If it's any tale of how the last one went, that Abyssal Rift is going to be doing massive damage in that engagement. Let's see how these teams rotate. I'm looking for this Shinbi to get into the backline, but who are you locking down? The Rena and the Skylar can both jump away from you. So Denim, in these team fights, really hard for them to do what Shinbis want to do, and that's assassinate those squishier targets. The Fangtooth getting really low.
Forward, Fangtooth in position and stolen away by Death Awaits. The skewer puts out so much work, and that shield slam not gonna save your team fight, my friends. Death Awaits, we're gonna put you on the chopping block. Tether gonna drag Denim straight to the depths of hell. And just like that, Death Awaits move on forward in complexity again with the double kills. Just putting in so much work.
My word. The skewer delays the Shinbi long enough for the hunt to come through inside of Marking Mark. They're able to secure the Fangtooth. A huge takeaway there, and then they just turn it after that. The Abyssal Rift just once again just zapping the living daylights out of everybody. And then just some cleanup kills after that. It's okay. What is the engage tool here in these pit fights? It's the shield slam. You have to wait for the shield slam to come through. If that gets maybe 1 or 2 targets, you can try to burst them down with the Shinbi and the Countess. But if you're not doing that, what are you doing? And it's really tough because this Kira is under pressure. The Kwang is chasing after her. She's got to watch out for hooks from downtown. So the Kira has to be kind of playing on her own, knowing that the Steel has to move into the front line to get that shield slam, to get the engage. So a really tough way for the crew to execute some of these massive team fight engagements. And they're going to have to do it again here because the Prime's on the board.
This is a tough game to be a Kira in. If your ultimate is not safe when so many abilities from Death Awaits can cancel that out. And frankly, I'm surprised that the crew started that Fangtooth up the way they did instead of trying to collapse onto the complexity. Death Awaits not going to make that same mistake. They're looking to collapse, and they are going to take down their target. Candy Blue Sky. Soaring some very dark skies for now. Be looking now at the Orb Prime. Take advantage of these Death Awaits. Pretty much get this one for free.
I don't think they're going to contest that. So then it's, okay, what does the crew trade? It looks like they're trading the mid tower, maybe the left tower there as well. They at least get the tier 1, maybe the tier 2. So, okay, he'll take that. But now how does Death Awaits respond? Are they going to be able to quickly reset and put the pressure back before all is said and done? Maybe not so much, but I like this disciplined play from the crew. Let's take some economy back in our pockets by taking the jungle, taking a tower or 2. Let's reset, and we'll try it again once the next objectives come online. Maybe that's when we'll reach our timings, and we'll be able to actually fight.
You know, I'm just realizing this world shift kind of a nerf to Candy Blue, right? Because his whole thing is the Candy Blue Sky. Now it's Burgundy. He's like, what does he even do? Yeah, he's the Countess. Clearly, the blood isn't keeping him alive, not against people rotating on it. So Death Awaits in a pretty good spot to start turning this one around.
Yeah, I mean, and they have the chance to do it. It's only a 3,000 gold difference. It's not large by any means. You take maybe a Shaper, you take a tower, you'll level that pretty quick. So this is still anybody's game. I mean, the kill score, 11 to 10 as well. It's just about how are we engaging in these team fights? Are we taking them at the right time? And when we have a pick, or do we find somebody who's getting caught out? You know, things of that nature. So what we were talking about in game number 1, how do teams close out these matches? Right now, Death Awaits doing a much better job of it this time, using the neutral objectives to do it.
Oh dear, you can't step up like that. Ripflash gonna connect. Oh my goodness, the DC game is great, but there's just not enough damage. Top Hero has to lock up that kill. Forward, Andy again, way too deep with nobody to help out. He's gonna go a trip right back to the grayscale. The crew have to find a 4v5 defense, which they almost avoided by keeping the Fury alive.
Yeah, oh man, it was a good yawn.
Jif peanut butter. It's that jiffing good, you dress up like a squirrel for it. Try Jif peanut butter and chocolate flavored spread.
FanDuel's dropping profit boosts every college football Saturday. So how do we spread the word?
I got it. We boost our bus with rockets and fly to tailgates everywhere.
Love it.
Get a profit boost every college football Saturday with FanDuel.
Open your eyes bigger. New Panorama by L'Oreal Paris. A multi-level bristle brush to catch every single lash. Corner to corner. Bigger. Wider. See life in Panorama. Because you're worth it.
What? You're joking. This is a joke.
You want jokes? Wait, new car? You need Like a Good Neighbor, State Farm is there.
Your State Farm agent can help you choose the coverage you need.
Glad I could help.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
With a magical taste and friendly ingredients, Hello Toothpaste makes every day yay.
With DoorDash Streaks, you rack up weekly discounts, so you win every week. But so much winning energy can be a lot. Win every week with DoorDash Streaks. Opt in, order every Saturday, build the savings.
Yoink, the fly trap just barely missed. The Shinju is so shifty. Another yoink from Undead. This guy's insane.
Now it's on his spotted though, and it sets up a big shield slam. Speed target hit. Horn comes through. Bengal Mac in disguise, and Almighty down on the ground. Puts the shots down range, finds 3 kills, and just like that, Death awaits. Finds himself in a tough spot.
A good re-engage there from the crew, and it's off the back of that shield slam. That's their engage tool. If they find it, they could get the eliminations because they have the damage from the Howie and the Kira. But what did they lose in the back end, my friend? Their right side inhibitor obliterated there, and the Skylar was not in that fight at all. Had she been, would have been a tougher look for the side of the crew, but they win that one clean. 3 members down. They're going for the Fang. That would be their second one here, and a Primordial at that.
Good big Fang tooth to take. If you can get it, you deny Death awaits the third one. Really have to make sure you secure this. The Incomplexity and Aumento are both here. Ball comes up, and Incomplexity says no problem. Let's Abyssal Rip right on in. Look at the health bars go down, but Aumento's got a laser for you. Sure, go ahead, Spotty. You can try to pressure out Aumento, but you found yourself your kills. Complexity does get shut down. Crew lose their carry.
Oh, but they get the Fang, and I think that they'll take that trade every day of the week. I mean, especially because Kira's not really known for her wave clear, so it's not like they lost Bengal Mac, who will be zapping up the creeps as they're heading towards the core. So a fine trade there for them. Maybe a little bit aggressive for my take, but they'll be okay with it here for now. It's okay. What is the map state? You have the wave pushing into you if you're the crew on the left-hand side. You have a wave pushing with you if you're on the duo lane. Looks like the Shaper is the next objective on the board. These are going to contest. The fly trap is available. Looking to get sprung.
I really like it. Sometimes, you know, a play is just aggressive, but you have to know when is the right time to make those plays. Even when you're in the back foot, sometimes you just have to try to get active. Crew holds it off very effectively here. Gives up a little bit, but not too much. Now they have the good buff around them for this next fight. It's going to be around the Shaper, it's going to be around Prime, Time will tell, but Denim wants to start things up early. Good amount of damage. Ball comes through. The Skewer connects, only hitting down Spotted Lost. Shield Slam completely whiffs! That might be the fight for them. Spotted Lost bulldozes out, but no, Almighty has fallen. Incomplexity allowed to free cast from the back. Turns things around for Death awaits. Crew now have to shift their way back. No, maybe not. Spotted Lost goes forward, and Bengal Mac takes out Aumento. Ford cut off from the rest of the team. A double kill for Bengal. He's putting in the work. Can he find himself a triple? Yes, sir. 3 to his name. 3 in a grave.
Oh my, again with this guy at the triple. I think he's got 3 triples in 3 games. That's a bingo card. That's a triple double. Put him on the basketball court instead. Now they're able to take the Shaper. This is great for the crew. They can, especially in the duo lane when the wave is with them, they can get that ceiling, but Incomplexity has something to say about it. Still has the Abyssal Rift available should they want it. Maybe they'll go for some exit kills.
Does get out of the fly trap just in time there. If you got pulled back, that could have been crucial for the crew. That last fight ends up going pretty well in the favor of the crew. Not off of the engage, but just Bengal Mac having enough damage and enough range to say, all right, punish them for chasing.
And I believe it's because they have the primordial flame, flame here, my friend, and so that just does so much true damage. It doesn't matter if you're the the tankiest warden or the biggest Kwong, like you are gonna get burned to smithereens there. So if you're the Death Awaits, you got your kills. Back up, right? Let's not expend anything more than we need to. As you know, we press the advantage here now. Tied up, Fang Teeth 2-2. Kills 16-17. Still anybody's game. One mistake could seal the deal.
If that Shield Slam had just found purchase, that fight probably looks a little bit cleaner. And so you know what the crew are looking for in this next one. They want to make sure their abilities are landed, their ultimates hit the targets, they're CCing the right ones. Keep an eye on Denim back here. Playing a very dangerous game. He's going to get CC'd himself to blink all the way back to his team.
But that's what the Shimmy needs to do. You need to be the distraction piece. Like you said, look at this over here. You see the whole entire team turn. As they are turned, their flank is open. Okay, find a R2000 or find a feast on a backline member that's a little bit out of the position, out of the group, whatever. If you had a Richter, even better. You could rip blast someone or an abduct from the Morn. So I think that's the great play there from Denim. Just the follow-up didn't happen because what is the engage? It's just the Shield Slam. So it's really tough here for the side of the crew. It has to be perfect for them.
Let's look at the bright side, though. Off of that play, Denim pulls the skewer out from Undead. So that's an ability that's off the board right now. Judgment! Next fight. You can see that the way it's kind of dipping away from looking for that 5-on-5 while they wait for them to come back up. But if nothing else, he spots themselves time. The downside is, Skewer has a lower cooldown than the Blink. Really say, you know what? Forget about that. Let's get ourselves a Prime again. It went, or Primal, went well for us in the last fight. Bring it back to the next one. You're in a good spot.
And I like this is a fantastic call from the crew to kind of split off here, right? They know all the waves are with them, so their response has to come through from Death Awaits. You see Pop, he went to the mid lane, went to the dual lane as well to kind of stem the bleeding, and that created a disadvantage, so they knew they couldn't go for the Prime. They couldn't then rotate for the Fang, and those two members take it. The third Fang Tooth here for the crew and the Blaze upon them. They're looking to take down the robot. I don't know if they're going to get contested on this.
Looks like they might be. Marky and Horde are here. In Complexity, the big one to keep your eyes on. Mac turns some damage back around to him, but Almighty is forced out of that pit. We have the GPS on your EC. So all of a sudden, crew give this one up. Step back, the status is forced onto Pop Hero. Does take him back to safety, and Horde keeps him alive. Marty coming on in. Not gonna find too much, but Rick Flash connects. Oh, Bengal out of the fight! A big shutdown for Pop Hero might just send an avalanche of kills down. Lead the charge, but Undead just needs to land the Riplashes. Like one doesn't find purchase. Spotted. Wait. I don't know if you want to be in there. Bull Rush, but there's no backup. Backup is coming though. Candy is here. Marky getting low, but Memento has found the kill on Spotted. One trades back as Marky goes down, but now Candy in a bad spot between two members. All the while, Pop Hero just casting away. Need to land one more shot on the guy, and Almighty finally does the job.
Ooh, that was a 1v1 for the ages there. The Primordial Flame just deadlifting that fight. But oh my word, the steal. Re-engaging there, just being like, guys, I got nothing left. I'm just diving in. They're going to look at me, do the work, do something for the team, and they get it done just enough. The economic level is so close here, but it's in Complexity with the Abyssal Rift in that fight did a ton of damage. Now they're looking to press the base. They'll probably get this in here and then back off as the rest of the members are starting to revive, but what a fight there outside the pit.
There's just no wave here for the crew, but somehow able to hold on to both inhibitors. Oh my god, Candy says, oh, what a let's bring it back down to earth, buddy. This is where you belong. This is my turn. Blue Sky not gonna find the kill on Undead Horde, but he certainly made a statement.
Wow, that feast, he lunged into the air and just nabbed him. Wow, that was wild stuff there. Stayed a little bit too long, but you could see why they wanted to get that in him down. But now with their carry out of the fight, the crew will be contesting the Prime again. I don't think they'll... I said it last time, and I was wrong, but I think this time for sure, Death Awaits does not go after them.
Yeah, it's a lot tougher without your ADC around. It's been a story of overstays and missteps, it feels like. Every time a team finds themselves an advantage, they try to push for just a little bit more, and they get punished for it. I mean, frankly, watching the Steel dash in, I thought, oh man, that's the game right there. Like, there's no way that they recover from that. Instead, they find themselves a couple kills, still down 2-3, but somehow hold on to their inhibitors. Death Awaits struggling to find a way to close this one out.
And I think now they're on the back foot, friend. They've lost the last, 3 objectives? It was like a Prime, a Fang before that. They've lost to this Shaper, and I think the Shaper before, so the economical advantage they had was like 3,000 through most of the game. Now it's definitely even, if not usurped at this point. You can see it here. Yeah, definitely it's a swing in 6,000 gold. That's at least, you know, an item for 2 of the members there, hopefully on your, you know, your position 1, position 2. But this is not yet over, right? You can mount a defense here as long as you don't lose an inhib. Bangle Mac looking to press the issue.
Let's talk about these objectives, right? The Shapers have consistently going to see it right here. Here's the little seedling. He's gonna waddle on in and start shredding down your stupid little inhibitor that thinks it can stand against a plant. Don't know how that works. But the pressure that the Shapers have been giving alongside the gold and XP has been keeping these lanes fairly well in control for the crew. They've been able to take a step forward without sacrificing too much.
Yeah, absolutely. But what I love about the Death Awaits squad is because they have 2 mages, because this Rena has survived in the off lane, they have so much lane clear. You saw the Rena go toe-to-toe with Bangle Mac. I don't care your double bubble. Like, I'll get you. I know I'm stronger than you. And was able to clear the wave, get the seedling down as well, take minimum... Okay, I was about to say minimal damage to the inhib. Now I'm seeing the people away from it. They took significant damage on the inhib, but that's okay. But because of that, time is being bought from the side of the crew with those lanes pushed up. They're going for this Fang. They're going to secure it again. That is huge for them.
I love the thought from Marky there, but he just doesn't have the damage to secure that Fang tooth. Now, there's going to be a lot of members walking forward, and oh my god, Pop Hero just went down as well. But look who's still in the base. It's still Candy up there bringing some pain. Bring down the rest of these inhibitors. 3 left for Death Awaits and 5 strong with Primal Blaze. This is a tough defense.
Very tough defense. We talk about that flow chart, and the crew was able to get it. Now they're just burning the crystal. Spooky, you can't even make that call, and it will be the crew to win this series. They close it out 2-1.
We don't need the fight. We don't need the ace. We just need a single shield wall to make sure Amento puts 0 damage out, and they just focus fire that core, break it down. The crew complete week number 2 undefeated with an asterisk.
They band together in that one. They bent and did not break and were able to win it out. I was about to say before that last core take, the crew got in the driver's seat in terms of the process